lawyer for the founder and CEO of the Telegram messaging app describes French allegations against his client, accused of allowing criminal activity on the app, as absurd.
Pavel Durov is sometimes described as the Mark Zuckerberg of Russia. He was born there, but he left the country in 2014 and is now a citizen of both France and Dubai. The Telegram messaging platform he founded is currently used by nearly 1 billion people worldwide. What's different about it is that huge groups of up to 200,000 people can share information and content on it. His lawyer said it was absurd to suggest that he could be implicated in any crime committed on the app.
The BBC's Zoe Kleinman. Police in Rio executing 16 search warrants targeting the claw machines popular with kids and adults alike. Police contend the machines defraud users who believe that scoring stuffed animals to be a test of skill when it's really a game of chance and therefore illegal. Townhall.com. Israel's military says it has killed another 5 terrorists during raids in the West Bank. Among the dead, a man who is said to be a high-ranking terrorist commander.
There was no immediate Palestinian confirmation of the death of Mohammed Jabba, known as Abu Shusha, a commander in the Islamic Jihad militant group in the Nur Shams refugee camp. The military says he was killed along with 4 others in a shootout with forces early Thursday, after the 5 had hidden inside a mosque. Adding Abu Shusha is linked to numerous attacks on Israelis, including a deadly shooting in June. I'm Charles Dilatesma.
A Florida man scheduled to be put to death by lethal injection 30 years after killing a college freshman and raping the victim's older sister while the siblings were camping in a national forest. Unless the U.S. Supreme Court intervenes, Lauren Cole will be put to death just after 6 p.m. at Florida State Prison. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody. Busy Thursday.
'Tis a busy one, yes.
Yeah.
Got Goddard Rocket football tonight.
Yes. In case you did not hear, yesterday they put out into the world that kickoff for not only tonight's Goddard matchup, but tomorrow night's Roswell Coyote matchup. Kickoff has been moved up to 6 p.m.
So from 5:30 pregame,
Yes.
kickoff at 6.
Yes.
Yeah.
So kickoff will be at 6 tonight for Goddard, and tomorrow night for the Coyotes. I believe for tomorrow night they're trying to get ahead of weather, because if I'm looking at the weather forecast and rain's looking pretty good tomorrow. So.
Does it feel like to you that our teams in our district are so good? The forces of God himself are at play, trying to give the rest of New Mexico a chance.
There you go. Put that on the bulletin board, coaches.
Forces of God himself.
God said you can't win.
It just sure seems like he's been doing a darn. It's like, every team beforehand they pray, for guidance or whatever. There's that one team up there. It's like, God, why don't you give us one, please? Lord's like, all right, fine.
Well, quite frankly, pray for rain is going to beat the pray for football every time.
Oh no, 100%.
In this part of the world, so
it's just become the new go wash your car.
That's right.
You want it to rain? book the Coyotes in a football game.
That's right. You're our new car washer. But yeah, I think they're trying to beat weather, and especially since last week they got called because of weather in Los Lunas, and they can't make that game up.
Right.
Which if they can't do this game, that puts them 2 behind the 8 ball, and that really it's tough.
It ups the ante for
and
the
things
season.
like that. So Roswell especially wants to make sure they get this game in tomorrow. So they're moving up to 6 here, and but I'm looking at the weather and chances tomorrow are pretty good for some rain. So of course rain's not the problem. They'll play in the rain.
It's
the thunderbolts
lightning.
and lightning, very very frightening. So that's what they got to worry about. The rain they'll play in. But game on tonight, 6 o'clock, and then tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. You can listen to the Goddard Rocket matchup on our sister station this evening, 106.1 FM Fierro. You can also watch the game at the Wool Bowl, but also at ksvptv.com in the Goddard Rocket channel.
Just bear in mind, if you're going to use the game while you're at the Wool Bowl, if you're going to use ksvptv.com or the radio station, there's a slight delay.
Yeah.
So if you see a touchdown, and then 30 seconds later, there's that one guy on the other side going, yeah! He's watching ksvptv.com.
Not looking at the field.
He's not at all. He's just locked on. I'm just here for the atmosphere and the hot dogs.
Can you all shut up and try to watch the game?
I can't hear Art. Yeah, right. Everybody can hear Art.
Yeah, Art's
The visiting side can hear Art without a microphone.
They just open the window. But so we'll have that for you. Now, tonight here on 106.5, we will have Eastern New Mexico University Greyhound football tonight, beginning at 5:45 with pregame at 6 p.m. Doc Elder will be calling that game tonight. And for the life of me, don't know off the top of my head who they're playing. I have to go look on the thing. Apologize, bad host. But we'll have that for you right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
I can tell you that Goddard taking on Carlsbad tonight.
Yes.
Roswell High taking on Alamogordo tomorrow night.
There you go. And so it should
Hobbs,
be fun.
Artesia taking on Hobbs
They
tomorrow night
travel
as well.
to Hobbs tomorrow night. So, and likewise, tomorrow night's Roswell Coyote game beginning with a pregame around 5:30. Tomorrow night you'll hear right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, and then video at ksvptv.com in the Roswell Coyote channel.
Yes, sir.
All will be there for you to enjoy.
Indeed. But it's I know we're still kind of technically in monsoon season, but it feels like we're on the back half of it. But we're getting all the activity in the back half.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at, like, today we got a 30%. Tonight, they could get wet tonight. It's a 40% chance of rain tonight, too. Tomorrow, hold on. There's a lot of words. A 70% chance of showers for the afternoon. And then 60% tomorrow night.
Hope you guys been practicing with slick balls. I mean, footballs.
By the way, if you're all like, oh, that's tomorrow. You know what our high tomorrow is? 86 degrees tomorrow. Yeah.
That's a good year, too.
Drink that in.
That was 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things were really looking up for me at 2.
I was jamming to Billy Idol's White Wedding. Actually, 86 was the year in December I went to Australia. I was 14 years old.
Nice.
And yes, that's what I was doing, because I remember, because I was on an airplane a lot to get on there. My tape playlist, what I consisted of, most of it was homemade, by the way. There was a couple of store-bought
I loved
tapes.
imagining you at home trying to sync up with the radio and your tape to make your Australia mixtapes.
I did. I bogarted. I had a well, and I think part of it, some of it was the earliest form of Napster. It was your friend bought the cassette tape.
Right.
He had a dual cassette tape. I recorded his cassette off my.
Sir, that is chef's kiss. Quintessential 80s life right there.
Yes, that's actually how I procured
I
those songs.
love dual cassette. Dual cassette players were strictly made for pirating music in the 80s.
Yeah. This is the best part, when one of your great friends is a single kid and his parents buy them everything. This was the kid that had the G.I. Joe bass.
Ours
that
was
nobody had. He had the Tony Hawk skateboard when all of us had the cheap Nash ones that we broke in a week. He had the dual cassette with the and he had Beastie Boys. He had everything you needed, man. And
in my neighborhood. That kid's name was John Duchan, and I'll never forget him. He was very unpopular. He was a big old fat kid, but he was lived with his dad, single dad, and he had everything to the point where he had a Dreamcast.
Wow.
Like, I'm sorry. He had a Sega Saturn. That's
Ooh.
how deep it went.
Okay.
Because I remember playing Virtua Fighter at his house on his Sega Saturn.
Oh,
Nobody
nice.
got the Saturn.
Yeah.
This kid was loved.
Well, in this family, they had a laser disc.
Oh my God.
Right? Laser disc.
Come on down, kids.
You watch Star Wars on laser disc.
I'm just going to say, we're going to watch A New Hope on this 4 laser disc set. Gets to the end of a dramatic scene, it fades. Please flip to side 2.
Oh, man. Pound for pound, though, there's still people like Laserdisc people, like vinyl people. There's still people out there that swear by those laser discs.
Lake County Dan! Got my laser disc. Still rocking corduroy jean shorts.
That's right.
Jamming out to Buffett. Just blew out a pop top. Blew out a flip flop with a pop top.
Jaws 3D on laser.
Yo, hey, Tron. I got Tron.
Oh man. So
where's their vinyl resurgence?
Yeah, why isn't there a laser?
There should be a laser disc
vinyl
resurgence.
There's something online.
I buy it for the album art.
That would be beautiful. Somebody here?
I think so. Is somebody here?
Oh, okay. I heard Roy talking, and I was like, "Is there a person here with a Roy?"
Look, Tron. Yeah, the movie Tron.
Oh, we were talking about laser discs. I legit heard you talking in the other room. I thought there was 2 people on, so 2 people in the room. So sorry about that.
Well, no, you just reminded me when you said Tron. I just found out they are making a 3rd Tron movie.
Really?
Hold on now. Okay, so there was the OG 80s Tron.
Right.
Then they rebooted Tron about, 10 years ago?
2009.
Is that how long ago?
Yeah,
So
it's not a reboot, it's a sequel.
So a sequel to what? Tron 2009 or Tron...
Oh, no. 2009 was a sequel
to the 80s.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, so I couldn't even get through the first one.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges is in that one. He's the same character.
So they're making, now this is going to be a sequel to the 2009.
Maybe. I don't know. I just know they're making a 3rd one.
Because that one wasn't called Tron 2, was it? It was called Tron like Origins.
Tron Legacy.
Tron Legacy, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I didn't know it was a follow-up. I literally thought it was just a reboot of the...
Well, in all fairness, I could not get through the first Tron in the 80s. Like Dune, 80s, Tron, 80s, 2 movies, never finished to this day.
Tron was very long, but it was also very interesting with the graphics.
To me, it was
it's
hard to
kind of
look at.
I like pretty things, and it was very pretty.
I didn't even like the game Tron.
Oh, honestly, I hated the game.
Yeah, the game Tron. Nothing about Tron annoyed me. I'm just like, this is stupid. I just never got into it. It was like ghetto Star Wars to me. Didn't want nothing to do with it.
The game I hated because it was too hard, and that was when I was, granted like 7 or 8, but it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it was hard, if I remember right. It was very difficult.
If you had
to
somebody,
block
if you
people
had
with the
somebody,
light cycles or something.
Yeah, if you had somebody who had a really quick wrist, that could really pop that stick. Or you ever get the ones that clutch it? Like if this is old school Atari, but the ones who clutch the joystick.
I think it's a bunch of what's his name character in Pixels.
Right.
He's got the cheating glasses and he does all that stuff.
So people were wondering who's going to do the music for the 3rd one because Daft Punk, if you remember, did the music for the 2nd one.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a big thing. When it was a major thing.
So what? Deadmau5 this time?
That's what I wanted. That's
Seriously?
what I was hoping for was Deadmau5.
Okay.
But apparently it's going to be 9 Inch Nails.
Wow.
All right, good for Trent Reznor. I didn't know they were even.
Now I don't know if this is just a rumor or what. But
he does produce movie scores now. And
yeah,
stuff. That's kind of more of his gig than. Well, when's the last time you heard a 9 Inch Nails song?
I mean, honestly, it's a couple of months ago, but it was a song from 30 years ago.
9 Inch Nails song. Maybe I put that in there.
But yes, I did want Deadmau5.
I actually just said that as a joke, but that's scary how accurate that was.
I'm bucking for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
All right, I better get going. Taylor Swift's going to do it.
Hashtag Swifty.
Yeah, they're going to Swifty up Tron.
He will never, ever, ever.
Get ready, Travis Kelce. You're in Tron now.
I know you got to go to an interview. We have to talk about the deal that Travis and his brother just signed, $100 million podcast deal.
Really?
Yeah.
They got some followers though,
Hell
so I
yeah.
can see if you got the juice, then they give you the cash. All right, we're gonna replay an interview this hour. Crystal Noble with the Main Side joined us last week. We're gonna play that here in just a minute. In the 8 o'clock hour, we're gonna have Steve Alvarez join us from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. Dragonfly Festival is basically a week away, next weekend, out at Bitter Lake. So we'll talk about that. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to talk Museum Day. Amy McVeigh-Tejas with the Historical Society will join us. Carol Brooks with the Artesian Museum, Art Museum will join us. And we'll talk about Museum Day and, what other things going on at the museums there. Before we do that, though, let's get you up to date with the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some of that tropical air making its way into our area. Showers and thunderstorms will be popping up this afternoon. Partly sunny, and we're in the low 90s on the high. We do have some showers in the forecast for the overnight hours, dipping down to the upper 60s. Rain and thunderstorms look pretty likely most of the day on Friday. Partly cloudy, and we're in the upper 80s. A few showers for the holiday weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 73 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 71%. Winds are calm at the moment. We are looking at a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Otherwise, mostly sunny and 93. Tonight, 40% chance of showers, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 68 degrees. 70% chance of rain for Friday. For the afternoon, mostly cloudy. 86 for a high. And then Friday night, 60% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, 66 for an overnight low. Then for the weekend, 40% chance at showers and thunderstorms for Saturday, otherwise partly cloudy and 85 for a high. 30% chance of rain Sunday, mostly cloudy, 85 for a high. Labor Day, 30% chance at showers and thunderstorms, high of 83. Under mostly cloudy skies. All right, 7:20. About a 2.5-minute break, then we're going to play our interview with Crystal Noble from the Humane Society. Don't go away.
Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel have been celebrating life for over 90 years. Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory celebrates and remembers. Joanne Bartlett passed away in Houston, Texas. Service will be held Saturday, August 24th, 9 a.m. at South Park Cemetery. Dixie Summersgill passed away July 5th. Service will be Saturday, August 31st, 10 a.m. at McBride Veteran Cemetery. Tracy Foucher passed away August 8th. There are no services scheduled at this time. Brittany Brito passed away August 8th. Visitation is Monday, August 26th, 1 to 4 p.m. at Ballard Funeral Home. Services will be Tuesday, August 27th, 10 a.m. at Ballard Funeral Home, and interment following the service at South Park Cemetery. Danny McFadden passed away August 2nd. Memorial service will be 10 a.m. Saturday, August 24th at First Baptist Church, and interment following the service at McBride Veteran Cemetery. LaGrone Funeral Chapel remembers and celebrates David Joe Stogden, who passed away August 15th. Visitation will be Thursday, August 22nd, 5 to 7 p.m., with rosary to follow at 7 p.m. at LaGrone Funeral Chapel. Mass will be Friday, August 23rd, 2 p.m. at St. John's Catholic Church, with interment following Mass at South Park Cemetery. This has been today's remembrance, brought to you by Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel.
Are bugs eating your garden and mosquitoes chasing you back in the house? Ask yourself, what would Jim Gill do?
This is John from Roswell Seed. You know, we've been battling bugs in Roswell since 1898. And if Jim was here, he'd draw on his immense knowledge and send you home with the right stuff. Chase the bugs out of your garden and the mosquitoes out of your yard.
Don't give the bugs a head start. Head for Roswell Seed Company and find out, what would Jim Gill do?
The perfect pair of glasses is a lot closer than you think. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs is now accepting new patients 5 and up. The Eyesight accepts all VSP vision plans for full contact lens and glasses, as well as Medicare, Davis, and more. Designer frames from Maui Gyms, Oakley, and so much more. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs offers complete eye care, including pre- and post-cataract and LASIK, as well as glaucoma testing. The perfect pair is waiting for you at the Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, or Hobbs. Clearly the best in sight. The Labor Day Savings Event is on now at Roswell Honda with scorching savings across the lot on a great selection of vehicles like a 2023 Toyota Tacoma priced under $34,000 or a brand new Honda CR-V for under $36,000. In the service department, take $10 off your next oil change and tires are buy 3, get 1 free. Then join Roswell Honda Saturday, August 31st from 10 to 1 for free food, stuff for the kids, and your chance to score a 4-burner gas grill and $200 Super Meat Mart gift card. The Labor Day Savings Event on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Turtles can breathe through their butts. We imagine you know some people who do that too, because that's where their heads reside. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Humane Society here in Roswell, Crystal Noble back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Good deal. I know, of course, it's busy time for you guys. Is gearing up for big fundraising event,
Yes.
which is kind of a big deal because you guys don't generally do these things, you know.
No, this is a first
Yeah.
for this type of fundraiser, and really excited to see how it turns out.
And it kind of just worked out. It kind of fell in your lap. There's a gentleman that's a stand-up comedian that
Yes.
used to work in kind of like an animal control type job.
Cruelty investigation.
And so he's a stand-up comedian, and now he does just for groups like the Humane Society. He's a stand-up comic trying to be a comic, but at the same time, his moniker is to support animals and to find adoption. So he's going to come and be our opener and do a great night of comedy at the Liberty and have fun. So it'll be dinner and silent auction, all the come out and bring a date and have fun and do all that. But at the end of the night, we're raising a bunch of money for the Humane Society.
That's our goal.
Yep.
We have, as you guys got to see yesterday, the paintings that Greg did.
Yeah, he did. Those are beautiful.
Yeah, I only asked for one,
That's
and then
great.
he threw in 2, and I was like, well, I'm not going to say no.
Well, exactly. One more, another silent auction
Yes.
item. Or you could pack them together and maybe get, one big one, whatever
Well,
it is. Yeah.
so when he dropped them off to me yesterday, he was telling me that people that follow his artwork out of Texas were already trying to buy the paintings
Oh, good.
yesterday. And so he told them, no, you guys got to come and bid on them
You're
at
more
the
than welcome
auction.
to buy as long as it goes to the Humane Society.
Yes.
Exactly.
So they're like, well, just pay for them right now and give them the money. And I'm like, no, I need auction items.
Greg's awesome like that. That's
Really
why I
is.
love having him on because he's an artist. That's how he eats. That's how he pays his day job and all that. But he really does so much for the community. He donates so many paintings. I'm gonna guess that man probably donates almost as much as he could potentially earn. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
he could
'cause
get thousands of dollars for these, and he just gives them away.
He does all the historical paintings. Yeah.
He could turn that for his own personal income, and he doesn't. He uses it for organizations like yourself. So that's why I like Greg and what he does, because he's an artist, but he also, he's giving back when he didn't have to. And that's so cool. So, yeah.
We also have a lot of silent auction items. Roswell has come together a lot to help us out with this. We've assembled baskets, and so we're doing themed baskets.
Cool.
So we have one that could be a anniversary night, date night or something.
A couples themed basket. Yeah.
So it's got champagne.
Okay.
Champagne glasses. A gift certificate for flowers from.
We'll call it the date night experience basket.
Yeah. Or the oops, I screwed up basket.
I don't want to live in the doghouse basket.
Right.
That would actually be very appropriate for the Humane Society.
House of Flowers donated a $100 gift card. Cattle Barons donated a $100 gift card.
Nice.
And then we've also got a very beautiful necklace and earring set from Bullock's, valued at $500.
Oh wow, that's a pretty nice
that
little
are
package there.
Platinum plated over sterling silver.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And that's going to be one.
I might get you out of a doghouse.
And that might get you out of the
dinner
doghouse.
and jewelry. Yeah, that'll do it.
And then
flowers.
One of the other ones, it's kind of similar, except it's got one's got red wine, one's got white wine.
Okay.
And then each one of those have a $200 gift certificate to Martin's Jewelers.
Okay.
For custom jewelry.
Excellent.
Because Martin's Jewelry is now doing custom
they
design
do custom
jewelry.
work, and they do more than jewelry too. So if you like things that gifts and collectibles, they got all that too. So you can. There's no law saying you have to buy jewelry. That you can get whatever they've got over there. Yeah.
What she was telling me when I went in to go get the gift certificates was that a lot of people are, they go online, they see something, they create jewelry online, but it doesn't come as good quality as they make it look. So she said the majority of their business now is actually turned to custom jewelry.
Okay.
And she's like, they don't have to use it to buy something from inside the store. If they want to create something,
Put it towards a custom piece.
Put it towards a custom piece.
It's your gift certificate. You do it how you see fit with it. So,
Right.
Oh, awesome.
Then we got a man box, or we're just going to call this game night box. Okay.
All right.
So we got.
Is this the one your husband gave the thumbs up on? Because I imagine he's the one that says, "Yeah, this is officially a man box."
Well, there's two of them.
Ah, okay.
So we got a bottle of bourbon.
All right.
From Quality.
Okay.
All of the liquor came from Quality, by the way.
Big thank you to Quality for
Yes.
supporting. Yeah.
And then we have, when you're playing pool and you rack the cue balls.
Mm-hmm. The triangle.
The triangle.
Yeah.
So we got a triangle with shot glasses that are numbered like pool balls.
Pool ball. Okay.
Then we got
Are they solid in stripes?
They actually are.
Awesome. Good.
So then we got a roulette shot glass set.
Oh, cool.
And then we're getting a tabletop poker set.
So that'll be fun for somebody's man cave or poker night or game night kind of thing.
And then there's going to be a Dion's Pizza gift card in there. So that way you order pizza, you got your beer or your bourbon,
yeah,
you got
pizza,
shot
bourbon,
glasses.
and cards. It's a good night.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a dude night.
It is. So the other official man box is a Leatherman from Roswell Livestock.
Awesome.
We got a tool set from Ace Hardware, a drill set from
Leathermans are
Tractor
one of the
Supply.
most versatile knife tools.
They are.
Because I was in Boy Scouts and everything, I've had knives over the years, but the one I always kept on me that
Was the
I always
Leatherman.
pulled out for various things was that Leatherman, because it had the pliers, it had the knife, it had screwdriver, it had all kind of stuff that from time to time I occasionally needed. And so Leatherman is, it's like a whole toolkit on your in a knife basically.
It really is.
Yeah, it's even more than like Swiss Army stuff. Or Swiss Army, like the pliers, and they're actually good pliers. They're
This
actually,
is like
you can
the
put some torque
Supreme
on
version of a Swiss Army.
Yeah, like they're actually pliers that you can put some torque on without fear of breaking or something
Yes.
like that. Yeah. So anyway,
So-
sorry.
No, you're okay. That has the Leatherman, the drill set, the tool set. Trying to think. I got some Texas Roadhouse gift certificates to go in there.
Steak. You can cut your steak with the Leatherman.
I didn't even think about that. And there's something else that goes in there, and I can't remember. And then we have a lot of miscellaneous items. Oh, yeah, and then Roswell seed basket. Sorry.
Can't forget them.
Yeah, no. My husband's like, excuse me.
It's like,
So I'm picking up a stainless steel tub. So when you're harvesting stuff from your garden, you got something to carry it in.
Sure.
And so Roswell Seed gave us a water hose, spray nozzle, gloves, little yard utensils.
like a whole gardening kit.
Pretty much gardening kit with the
Okay.
$100 gift certificate, so they could go pick what they want.
So you
to
pick your seeds or
your
whatever.
seeds, if you want grass seed, flower seed, vegetable seeds.
Please speak to the experts at Roswell Seed before you pick those. Don't pick one. I get it. You want to pick your favorites, but pick your favorites that also grow well in the soil in which you own. That's the key.
Yes, it really is. And what makes it a lot easier is this is the time of the year where we should be starting to cool off.
Yeah.
But at the time of the event, it will be at the cool off time. So the season's going to be changing. So what you plant is going to be different. So the gift certificate doesn't expire from there. But if you want to do something for fall or winter crops, or you want to redo your yard, this will help get you started.
Excellent.
There's also fertilizer in there too.
And it's from Roswell Seed. so you
The
get good
fertilizer
stuff.
that I use on my garden and plants at the house.
Getting the good stuff.
It is. It
Yeah.
really is. I love it. And then we have a lot of just individual items.
Okay.
We've got a very nice Western purse from Roswell Livestock. Big
Awesome.
R gave us an Ariat purse.
Nice.
We're going to have 2 posters and 2 hats for Mind That Bird that are signed by the owners of the
excellent.
horse.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a poster and a hat and a poster and a hat.
Cool.
You know, there's quite a bit of stuff, and I cannot remember everything. So
Mind That Bird's a Kentucky Derby winner, in case people, some young people are like, who's Mind That Bird? Actually, there's a movie about it.
There is.
Pretty good movie. What the heck is it called? I can't remember the name of the movie now. Like Skeet Ulrich or something was in it. I can't remember it, but
I thought the name of the movie was Mind That Bird.
I thought it was like 24-1 or 40-1 or like whatever his odds were.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was
maybe it was.
Yeah.
But it was based on Mind That Bird.
But yeah, this is Mind the Bird.
So there's a lot of just a variety of things. You know, we want to attract all sorts of people to come. So there's, you know, date night stuff. There's individual stuff. There's going to be door prizes.
It's an eclectic mix. A little something for everybody. If you like man things, there's going to be man stuff. If you like foo-foo things, there's going to be foo-foo stuff. And a little bit in between. And couple experiences and things like that.
And then you're going to get to hear the one and only Sean Smalls go back to stand-up comedy.
Sean has not done stand-up in probably 20-plus years.
I know. And then when I asked him, he's like, yeah. He's like, and then he's like, well, I found this actual real comedian. I was like, so on the flyer, he sent me, it says a local. Yeah. You are local. And he's like, but I haven't done it in years. And I said, but you're gonna.
Deep down, he's deeply excited. This is what he loves. This is his passion. Yeah, it's putting him. It's giving him a challenge. At the same time, this is what Sean loves. He's gonna kill it.
He will. And he's just like anybody else. You know, they overthink and they stress out about it until the event, and then when it goes smoothly, then he's gonna be like, oh, I can do that again.
Just not every single person, but generally comedians are kind of soup sandwich brain type people. Like they're really good at certain aspects of life and really not good at other aspects. So just saying. I suffer from these same things because
So the movie with Mind That Bird is 100-1.
100-1. That's what I knew. It was something. It was like odds or something like that. But,
that would be input from my husband.
It was a good movie. I like that movie. Yeah, it's probably on Prime or whatever. You can rent it or whatever. It's a good movie.
But there's a various set of items, you know.
I actually was lucky enough to meet because when I was in Leadership Roswell, because they live locally. The Mind That Bird, he's retired here in Roswell, and so I got to go out to his home and see the trophy room and see the trophy and see like the room they have it in is like the trophy's in the middle, the big Kentucky Derby trophy, and then like the walls around, and the room is maybe a little bigger than this room, and the walls are covered floor to ceiling and all kinds of memorabilia, magazine covers, news particle, every piece of media about Mind That Bird is probably up on that wall. It's so impressive.
And I wonder how they came up with that name, Mind That Bird.
I don't know. I didn't think to ask. I think I would have.
You know, it's a horse.
Yeah. And the horse lives well now.
Oh,
the
yeah,
horse,
yeah.
The horse, and we got to meet the horse, and the horse kind of knows. Like when people are there to see it. Like with the day we were there, the horse was kind of in its own little section on the pen there or whatever. And there was a pony also in that same pen, and it's a big pen. It was a couple 100 feet total, and so a group of people get up towards the fence, and then the pony comes over, and so we're all petting on the pony, and then Mind That Bird like literally looked like, no, these are my people, and came running over, kicked that pony out of there, and said, "You may pet me now," and it was. Like it was
the star is here.
Right, literally, like that horse knows exactly what it's here to do.
That's
and of course,
funny.
it gets because and if you don't know, it had a affinity for peppermints. Like you know the ones you get at Sonic.
Yes,
loves those things, and so you feed him peppermints.
My horse, our horse, is a peppermint connoisseur.
Okay.
Sonic peppermints are not good enough for him.
Oh, he likes more highfalutin ones?
Oh, it's got to be Brock's.
Oh, the Brock's ones. Okay.
Or the C's. I'm not probably saying that name right. They do the chocolates.
Yes.
So John and I had gone to the Cottonwood Mall, and they had the C's chocolates. And I was like, oh, I'm going to get cash a bag of peppermints.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, really? You're spending $15 on a half a pound of peppermints for the horse? And I was like, yeah.
I love them.
Well, our neighbor got him started on the Brock's. And so he's like, well, your horse does not like peppermint from Sonic. He's like, he spits them out. And I started laughing. I was like, wow.
Got a little picky on this.
A little picky, but.
Loves the Brock's ones, though.
I get him the horse nuggets that are peppermint flavored.
Okay.
Oh.
Big fan of those.
Oh, buddy. Peppermints, watermelon, He salivates like a Saint Bernard and Great Dane.
Do horses like mint? Like, is it just peppermint, or could you give them spearmint or one of the other mints, and they'd be down with it too?
I don't know. Everything I see is always peppermint.
Peppermint. Maybe the other mint. I don't know. This is where I'm dumb. So
that would be a question I cannot answer.
To be honest, I'd like. Don't they eat like grass and stuff? Occasionally give them a carrot or an apple. I don't know. They eat candy.
So carrots, apples, celery, pumpkins, cantaloupe, watermelon, squash, zucchini, any vegetable, fruit.
Yeah. They don't eat any meats, right?
No.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Nope.
Don't slip my cheeseburger. They ain't gonna want that.
Nope. They like beer. Some like pizza. Horses, they're different. Every horse is different. Our horse has a very fond liking of beer in a glass bottle instead of an aluminum can.
Glass. Your horse is bougie.
Yes. He is.
I will not eat these Sonic peppermints. I need Brock's. I will not drink beer out of a can like a savage.
And John's going to blame that all on me.
That's pretty good.
But he is very bougie.
That's funny.
Because I give him the best, and the best is the best.
There you go. I get it.
And
it's your kid. You do how you do. Yeah.
That's part of being a pet owner.
Exactly. Yep.
If I'm going to have the best, why can't they?
Exactly.
Or they're going to have the best, and then I'll just have the second best. Because their best is a little bit more expensive than mine.
Right. Can't afford yours.
No. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. But everything that we're doing for this fundraiser basically is to help keep running the Humane Society.
Absolutely.
With the economy the way it is now, donations have gone down quite a bit.
Yeah, you're not getting nearly as much of the litter and food that you used to get.
No.
And so, but the demand's not decreased. If anything, it's increased.
It is increasing because the amount of owners surrendering animals has jumped about 15-20%.
Well, and it goes hand in hand. People don't have money. People aren't making donations. People can't afford to take care of the pets they got. They leave them on your doorstep. This is what happens.
So we're trying to hopefully make this a huge success. And tickets are available.
And quite frankly, you guys have dealt with a lot of expenses. There's been a bunch of renovations over there. A new roof has been put on. There's been a lot of costly things that have happened over at the Humane Society in the last year. And so we're still paying for it. We got to pay. And like I said, none of the needs or operations have slowed down. The dogs and cats need to be adopted. They got to be housed. Sure, we have these outbreaks and things where they can't adopt, but guess what? The animals still there. The animals need to be taken care of. They need to be fed. They need money. And let's face it, the Humane Society doesn't make a ton of money by adopting pets. That's not where the bread and butter is.
No.
The only reason that thing is open is generosity of folks and you coming and shopping at that thrift store. That thrift store really does a lot to keep it open.
And they got some cool stuff.
Good deal.
They had a 65-inch Vizio TV donated. It works. They have that listed for $150. It does not have the remote.
Well, you can get a universal remote, or if you got satellite, it usually comes, or cable usually comes with a remote.
Right.
And quite frankly, a 65-inch TV for what, $100?
$150.
Yeah, they're about $1,000, $1,200 new.
Yeah. So. And then they have a smaller 32-inch JVC for $50, and then they have a 40-inch Samsung for $50.
Oh wow!
So if college, it's gonna start up August.
Yeah, that's a perfect size because those college dorms probably can't handle a 65-inch TV, but a 40-inch will be more than adequate there.
If you need mattresses, she has a queen size mattress for $150 and a twin for $50.
Wow! And by the way, you ever priced new mattresses?
Yeah.
Thousands of dollars.
It's like taking out a small mortgage.
Yeah. You're thinking, it's like, what's in here? Just like cushion and stuff, right? What, you got gold in here? What's going on?
Is this going to like rock me to sleep, massage me in my sleep?
Is memory foam made of gold? What is it?
Right. And then they also have this really huge aquarium.
Excellent.
I think it is a 75-gallon, and I might be off just a little bit on the size.
So that's a decent size, 75 gallons.
So it is
big.
huge. It takes two people to move it.
Gotcha.
Or two.
Only reason I know because my brother and my sister-in-law, they're aquarium people, and they have a 100-gallon tank, and that thing's ginormous.
I used to when I had my turtles, and then when my turtles were old and gone, I got rid of my.
Matter of fact, they like to have they have to spend like an entire Saturday to clean that thing.
Uh-huh.
It takes like all day.
Yeah, that's a commitment. Like
Yeah.
you put that on the calendar,
Yeah.
and nobody comes over, nobody does nothing
Yeah.
because they are a lot of work
Matter
and a
fact,
lot of
I think
maintenance.
at some point, my brother hired a service that I guess you can hire services. It depends if you live in the city.
Oh, I was gonna say, what
He lives
services are that here?
He lives in Maryland, D.C. area, so
Oh,
I'm sure
okay.
there's a company. And so I think after a few of those, he was like, dude, we can hire someone to do this. And then literally, I think they come once a month to do the same thing. So
they have, they're starting to already bring out Halloween items, the decor, costumes, anything Halloween related, they're starting to pull out.
'Tis the season.
Tis the season. They have sports cleats for various sports.
Okay, so if you're going to be playing some fall sports here, soccer, whatever, football, whatever, they got you.
They have some baby walkers, baby swings, the baby balancers, when they walk.
Okay.
They've got a lot of that stuff.
And that stuff's expensive, brand new. Get it here.
It is.
And you can get it for pennies on the dollar, and then when you outgrow it or done with it because your kids are too big, you can donate it back.
Right. They have all seasons clothes, all sizes, a lot of clothes.
Because I'm sure your kids have probably worn out a few of your school clothes already. You need to get maybe some replacements here. Go to the thrift store. It's way cheaper. And they're kids' clothes. Kids either outgrow it or tear it up in weeks.
Right, unless they're the uniforms that they have to have.
Yeah, don't spend crazy amounts of money on that when you can get it at the thrift store for pennies on the dollar. And quite frankly, you'll get months out of it, and then it's no good no more. So
right,
that's what it is.
Same with shoes. They have boots, shoes, sandals, flip flops, dress shoes, tennis shoes.
And, and guess what? You find name brands like you want to get your kids Nikes and all that, but you don't want to pay $200 for Nikes. Go there, find Nikes for $20. They're brand new.
Throw them in the washing machine.
Yeah.
Tennis shoes are capable of being washed. So, and then this Saturday, what they're going to do is they're going to have the entire store half off, excluding Halloween items.
Okay.
But the entire store. So clothes, shoes.
You can still get Halloween items because, like I said, everything's deeply discounted. It's
It
pennies
is.
on the dollar.
I think the costumes they have, like some of them, like the most I've seen on a costume was like $15.
Yeah. And that's just it. Like if you love the decor and all that, that stuff's expensive. And you put it out for a couple weeks, then put it in a shed for the rest of the year. Go to the thrift store, buy that stuff. Don't pay the new for the lights and the plastic pumpkins and all the tombstones and all the stuff decor and things you put out in your front yard. Get it? Because someone did what you did, spent thousands of dollars, and then they had no place for this, so they donate it. And now you can go get it for like, $1 a piece or whatever. And,
right.
And now you didn't spend thousands of dollars, but it looks like you spent thousands of dollars on your decor. And it's just, you just walked around thrift stores, and when you're done hitting the thrift store at the Humane Society, go hit the other ones.
They've all got them.
Yeah, and go hit
We're
them
not
all.
the only ones.
Exactly. You can do all of this and not break the budget. If you got the kids and you want to create that experience, but I get it. Money's tight. Everything's tight. It costs $50 to go to McDonald's right now for 3 people. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I get it. Utilize things like the thrift store. That's your friend. That's how you navigate through these things because people donate good stuff. Stuff that's practically brand new. Matter of fact, I got a couple things I'm giving her to take. One is because my wife ordered the wrong size and she's never worn them or worn one time to know it didn't fit. And a blanket. That's what happens. It's stuff like that all the time that people are like, I got this thing. It really didn't serve me well. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to donate it. And so a lot of it's brand new clothing. A lot of time you go in there clothing, there's still tags on it because someone thought they could fit into a size 2 and they didn't, or whatever it is. That's what happens.
Or you normally wear one size, and then you order it from a different place, and their sizes are different.
Their XL is not the same as everyone else's XL. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But also, we have another thing coming up.
Okay.
And we're going to be at Petco this Saturday, 10 to 2.
Okay.
We're going to have a few animals out there. This is National Pet Weekend with Petco, and Petco's one of our partners.
Excellent.
So,
are you back keeping pets at Petco?
No,
Okay.
They haven't got the new housing thing.
Okay, so as soon as that's
this just clicked in my head. I remembered. So Harley Davidson Fanatics, you have to come to the show.
Okay.
Because Champion Motorsports did a dog bucket with Harley Davidson attire and a cat bucket with Harley Davidson attire.
Okay.
So you can have your dog or cat bling blinged with Harley stuff.
Oh, nice.
That was the other thing I was like, what was I missing?
And that'll be this Saturday out at Petco.
Yes.
Awesome. What time are you going to be out there?
10 to 2.
10 to 2. So going on out there and And of course, if you haven't been in there and you're a pet owner, I don't know why you haven't been in there. There's so much stuff.
It's Petco.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much.
My dog loves to go in there because my dog gets to just grab and pick toys, and then I have to buy them because my dog drools.
And that's the one thing I'm blessed. I have pets that you do not take out in public.
Well, you could.
But I would not recommend it.
They wouldn't like it, but you could.
Be happy. They would make everyone's world miserable.
Yes. And then we've also got started up with Texas Roadhouse for the Dine to Donate.
Oh, good deal. That's a great. I love when they do that stuff.
They're working on the flyer for me now because you have to have the barcode off of the flyer.
Yeah, that's how it works, and we'll tell you more as we get to it. Basically, there'll be a flyer out, and on a designated night between like 3 and 10, you go out there and have dinner, and like 10% of your meal cost will go back to the Humane Society.
Yep. And then we'll be out there with donation bucket. But also the very first Dine to Donate is my receptionist's birthday. So we're going to do her birthday at Texas Roadhouse.
How appropriate. Good deal. And I love that place because I can get...
Their rolls. Oh.
But and like in this day and age, like you can I can get a steak dinner and my wife and I still pay like $50-$60. And in this day and age, that's unheard of.
Yeah, no, and it's not expensive.
Exactly.
You can go get better quality food for the same price of going to McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, to be honest. Every time they do this, I was like, how do these people make money? Because there's a lot of food and a lot. Now, granted,
they make it in their liquor sales.
Have you ever seen that place when it's not busy?
No.
That's my point too. They sell a lot of food.
When I went to go do everything with the lady to get set up for the Dine to Donate, people were already waiting in the parking lot at 10:30.
Oh yeah,
I was like, whoa.
As soon as they turn the key to open the door, that place is packed. And it's like that till they turn the key to close it at night.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It's busy. So, but we're going to start doing that once a month.
Good. Well, excellent. And obviously, as you come on every couple of weeks, we'll remind people, hey, the next Dine to Donate and all that. But for right now, the big thing we need to do is you can go to thelibertyinc.com and get tickets for the fundraiser. It's September 20th. I can remember the actual date there.
So I know quite a bit of tickets already have sold.
Good.
There are limited tickets.
Okay.
There's 300 max capacity when it's a comedy show. So when we've hit the 300 ticket mark, it will be sold out.
All right. So don't wait until September to get your tickets. Go.
No.
See it, and again, it's probably the easiest, quickest way. thelibertyinc.com. You do not have to be a member to purchase tickets and things like that. Now, if you want to become a member, there's a lot of great perks for that, and you do your research there. But to get tickets for the event here on September 20th, you'll go to the Liberty Inc. You'll see the event, click on it. You'll put
or
in
if
your
you go to our
information.
Facebook page, we have the QR code.
Okay, so if you look for the Historical Society Historical Society.
Humane
Society, my brain.
We both start with an H.
Yeah, the Roswell Humane Society on Facebook. You'll go and like and follow that if you want. I recommend you do, and that way you'll find the QR code to the Liberty Inc. website.
Yes.
So, and get there.
And it goes directly to the event and tickets.
Good
boom,
deal.
boom.
Excellent. And then don't forget to come out to Petco tomorrow between 10 and 2. Come out and Harley up your, thanks to Champion Motorsports, Harley up your cats and dogs.
Yes.
There will be a few pets that are looking for forever homes out there. Are they dogs and cats or just dogs?
We're just doing dogs this
time. Just a couple dogs.
Cats,
Cats sometimes are easy to transport, sometimes not. Just depends on the mood of the
When
cats.
we have the habitat that's out there, it's easier for them because they've already had a decompression time.
Sure.
But when you're doing like little events like this where people are walking their dogs around and
you can't really do that with cats. They got to stay in the kennels. They got to stay in the whatever containers they're in where the dogs can get out and stretch their legs. So
and the cats a lot of cats don't like to see a whole bunch of dogs.
Sure. Well, yeah, and cats don't deal well. Cats you have to get in their circle most. I mean, some cats are right in your face, but most cats you got to earn that love and you got to get in their circle of friends. And so a bunch of people means I'm going to hide in the corner. I'm going to stay. I'm going to hide under the thing.
I'm going to be
can't
scared.
See me. Yeah, I will be here until this thing's over with. That's how cats roll.
Yes.
And so they don't work as well. So that way, when they do have and everybody's talking about the little Decker thing that's got a couple rooms they can walk around and usually there's branches and stuff they can lay out and hang out on and stuff.
Yes.
So when that's up, they can bring more cats. But that being said, don't hesitate. You can come down to the Humane Society today and see all the loving cats and dogs that are ready to come.
We have a bunch of kitties.
Good deal.
Bunch.
You got kitties and adults or
So I have one
kitties?
adult, and the majority of them are young adult kittens.
Okay.
Between 3 to 5.
Where you've got a good long life with them still. Yeah.
Yes, where you got 20 years.
Yeah. And they're still, and as a matter of fact, 3 or 4, they I'm not saying they're fully outgrown that kid mindset because they are young and playful, but they are a little bit more subdued than say a kitten would be.
They're not, going to climb your curtains because their brain is like must do something.
Yeah, they still get the zoomies. They still do all the things that cats do. To be honest, that's their whole life.
It's hilarious because
I got a cat that's pushing 10 that still does the zoomies all the time. So.
My cousin's cat. We got our dog's the big lamb from Petco. Well, they had found a smaller lamb and a big lamb for my uncle's dog, and then my little dog is over there right now. And so her cat drags the lamb around the house at 3:00 in the morning doing that kitty chirp.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, what are you doing? And he's dragging the lamb that's the same size as him.
Uh-huh.
And I started laughing. I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
I catch Hannah do that. Like, she's got a couple of these little mice. I don't know, there's a half dozen of them. I buy them like 3 packs, and I just throw them on the floor and let them play. And so every once in a while, she'll have one of those in her mouth, and it'll be about 11, 12 at night. We're all sleeping, all of a sudden here. And then she's walking around with a mouse in her.
She sounds like a bullfrog.
Yeah. She's walking with that little mouse in her thing. She's just, cats that's what they do.
It's funny. So, but if you want to look at cats, come down to the shelter Tuesdays through Saturday, 10 to 12, 1 to 4:30.
And
we're open.
I get it. Dog people, I love dogs. I love cats. But I grew up being a dog lover. I didn't until I got married. I wasn't, because my parents were allergic, so I didn't really was around cats. And I'm telling you, cats are just as awesome as dogs, and as a person. And I love dogs, and I love what they do. Cats, okay, not completely like dogs, but you can have just as that kind of relationship with it, because I do. I have 2 cats, and I do the same. They greet me at the door. They roll around the floor. I mean, short of the sloppiness that is a dog, where how they lick and everything's just cats are a little more neat about that stuff. That's the only difference. They don't do that. They act like cats, but they want your attention like dogs. They want to play like dogs. They greet me and love me like dogs sometimes. Cats are awesome. So.
They do. That is one thing that cats do.
But you got to earn that trust. That's just it. You got to earn it. Once you do, you got it. But
then there's no going back.
Yeah, that's the difference between dogs and cats. Is they're just as loving. It's just dogs are more trusting from the get-go. Not everyone, but to a point. Where cats are generally on guard until you give them a reason to not be.
Right.
Yeah. So once you see a cat on your floor laying there on its back with his belly up, you're golden. That means that they've accepted you and they've accepted their environment, and they look at this as a safe place.
You've been inducted into their cult.
Yeah, exactly. And when the cat rubs up on you, and it's telling you, I like you and you may touch me.
Yes. I give you permission.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but come to the shelter.
Yes.
And check out now. Everything good with the parvos and all that, or any of those issues?
So far, we haven't had any issues. I know animal control is still having some issues with distemper,
parvo, or any of that stuff. Okay.
But we haven't.
Yeah, knock on wood.
But we're not out of the clear yet because distemper is summertime, and we're
right in the middle of it.
High heat.
Well, it's
lasting longer. We're starting with our high temperatures end of April, beginning of May. And they're lasting until September, October. So we can't eliminate the issue.
Because the environment
hasn't changed.
Doesn't get to a point where it's not as good for it. So. And this is the thing, but this is why when you do go to the shelter and they tell you not to wear open-toed shoes, they ask you to walk on the bleach pad and all that first. It's so you don't contaminate what comes out of their home and what you don't bring from outside into there. It's all for the safety of your home and yourself and those animals in there.
And
please respect
vaccinations. So vaccinations are not a guarantee. Just because your dogs get vaccinated doesn't mean that they can't catch either one of these.
Sure.
But they're more apt to be treatable.
They've got a self-defense against it.
If they do contact it. So it's just like us in the flu. We get the flu vaccination, and if we catch the flu, it's a milder version of the flu, and we're up and at it 24 hours
it's
versus...
not a death sentence where some of these others, without the vaccination, it could be.
Right, and so in order for you to safely protect your animal, puppy vaccinations come in a set of 4. Because we are such a high area for parvo and distemper, vets, will tell you, do a series of 4 sets. So start them on their first, 3rd, 4th, or second, third, and fourth, and then yearly after that. Stay up on the yearlies, because even as adults, our first case this year was an adult dog that had distemper. So
And
adults
really,
aren't immune.
And that's it. It's easy to fix if you get them vaccinated. If you get them vaccinated, these things aren't a problem. Like you said, even if they do contract it, it turns into a milder form, is very treatable and recoverable. There's a full recovery there. Whereas parvo and distemper, without that stuff, it's a death sentence.
It is. And vaccinations, think of it this way. Would you rather pay, $50 every month until they're caught up on vaccinations over a course of time, or would you rather pay $3,000 at once and then your dog still might not make it?
Yeah.
And then you're out that vet bill, because you still have to pay the vet regardless
Absolutely.
if your animal makes it or doesn't make it.
Yeah, the service is rendered. You have to pay for it. But this kind of gets to the point where we talking about before, owning a pet, whether it's a cat or a dog, is no different than owning a child or having a child. It's
right.
The same. Cost is almost the same now with healthcare and everything else.
And they offer pet insurance at almost every vet in town.
That's a common thing now.
And care credit. If you don't make a whole lot of money and you want to take care of your pets, work on your credit and get a care credit card.
Absolutely.
And then that way, when an emergency does come up or you need to do your vaccinations, you can charge it on the care credit and then pay that out. But your animal is still being properly taken care of.
Absolutely. But you gotta, and that's why before you set foot in the Humane Society, you gotta understand that this cat or this dog that you're gonna take home is a huge commitment.
It is.
And if you're not prepared or able to do that, maybe now's not the time to adopt that.
Come volunteer and spend time with them. Get your fill and affection of the animals, and then you're providing a service to that animal by giving it some socialization and some attention.
Absolutely. And this is also why the Humane Society does have rules in place on who can adopt what. And, you got to meet certain criteria to adopt a dog or a cat. And if you can't meet that, then they don't adopt. And I know people are like, well, you're trying. Yes, but what's the point of adopting to people if you don't have the ability to take care of it? Because what's going to happen, at best, it's just going to come right back here. At worst, you just killed that dog or sent it someplace worse because you couldn't take care of it. So,
and one of the things that we're also trying to bring awareness to, and I want to give a lot of credit to the president of the Humane Society, Abby, is getting chaining dogs banned. She has been working relentless and talking to city councilmen and everybody. When you drive through Roswell and you look around, 9 out of 10 times you're going to see 1 or 2 dogs chained up in a backyard that are living on a chain for their entire life. And that's not a life for a dog. If you're getting a dog to stick it in the backyard and put it on a chain, you don't need a dog. You need a security camera, so if somebody comes in your yard, you got it on camera.
Let me ask you this. Someone put you on this earth and they basically put you on a chain and tucked you in a room and said, this is where you live and do everything for the rest of your life. We'll feed you a bowl of food. Here's where you go to the bathroom. And by the way, but you can only go in this 10-foot radius or however long this chain is. How would you feel about that?
Exactly.
There's your answer. Why you don't do it.
I agree. So I asked the citizens of Roswell, when you're driving around town, look. Open your eyes. Stop being tunnel visioned and look.
Yeah.
These animals are being subjected to a life that they didn't ask for, and it's not their fault.
Yeah, that was one thing, like if you've got during the day and whatever, and you have like a runner where they can kind of move within like a 50-foot area and stuff, that's one thing. And they're not living on it. When you get home, you take them off and you bring them in the house.
Or if you have a dog that's an escape artist and, you put them outside to use the restroom and you got to keep them from getting to certain spots.
That's one thing.
That's different.
But when you put the dog on the chain and then you don't see him until you occasionally put water and food out there, then why are you owning a pet?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the point you're making.
So I'm trying to encourage everybody to stand beside Abby Hess and support the ban the chainings for Chavez County.
It's going to be a tough fight because I know, especially when you get in the county, people set ways and things. And so.
Well, it's pretty much mostly for the city limits.
Sure. But the thing that that people have to remember is, and then again, it's not about chaining the dog ever. We get it. There's times where you have to, it's about life on the chain. If that dog is 24/7 on the chain, and neighbors know, if that dog's always on the chain because you hear it, and the neighborhood knows, and so those are the folks that we need to crack down on and make these things for. The ban would not be in place to say no, you can never put your dog on a chain. If you need to put your dog on a chain for half a day because the fence is broke, then you do that. But this is to prevent those perennial, I want to own a dog for protection. I put the dog back there and make it hard so nobody will come in to steal my house. I was like, do you think that dog, I think if you're lovely and loyal to that dog and treat it like a family member,
there's going to be a better guard dog.
You won't have to chain up in the back. The dog will do it without you telling it. It will protect you.
Breaking news this hour
all the time. Because it's a part of your family.
But also, if you have the dog chain in the backyard, they can go to the other side of the yard and get in your yard.
Absolutely. So
So
please.
Support the cause. Go on our Facebook page, message Abby directly, and say, hey, we want to help you. What can we do?
Absolutely. And if you live in the city of Roswell, you have 2 city councilors. You can each district has a city councilor. Shoot them emails. Tell them how you feel about this. So when it does come before them, they know the people that they represent, how they feel about it.
Yes, we would greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Excellent. Well, thank you, ma'am, as always.
Thank you. Sorry, we always go over.
It's my fault. I get to talking and telling stories. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks, okay?
Yes.
All right. It is 10 o'clock, almost 10:01. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Hungary's top diplomat insisting he will take part in an informal meeting of European foreign ministers. It comes in the midst of an ongoing dispute between Hungary and the European Commission.
Of course I will attend, Mr. Seato wrote in response to a BBC inquiry. Why would I not? Josep Borrell, the outgoing Foreign Affairs Chief of the EU, stripped Hungary of the right to hold the meeting of Foreign Affairs Ministers in Budapest after the Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban held unannounced talks in Moscow and Beijing. Since then, Budapest has accused EU leaders of plotting with the Ukrainian government to stop the flow of Russian oil to Hungarian refineries.
The BBC's Nick Thorpe. A Hong Kong court convicting 2 former editors of a shuttered news outlet of sedition. It's a case that is widely seen as a barometer for the future of media freedom in the city, once hailed as a bastion of free press in Asia. Townhall.com. Florida GOP Senator Rick Scott accusing his Democratic challenger of deliberately mischaracterizing his stand on one hot-button issue.
Senator Scott says he's not surprised his Democrat opponent is falsely claiming he's seeking an all-out abortion ban.
Just lies.
The real issue, Scott says, is how pro-abortion today's Democrat Party has become.
They want abortion up until the moment of birth.
Scott says Democrats are now so extreme, it's almost impossible to win even the slightest pro-life concession.
They all voted to say that you could let a healthy baby born alive just die in the corner.
Senator Scott was interviewed by Salem Media Miami. Bob Agnew reporting.
Visitors will not be able to stay overnight in hotels at Grand Canyon National Park after a series of breaks in the only pipeline delivering water to the popular tourist destination. The restrictions will run throughout the Labor Day holiday. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The tabloid said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Ah, yes.
It is a football Thursday.
It is.
Don't forget, tonight, is Goddard Rocket Football.
Taking on the Cavemen of Carlsbad.
Yeah, 6 p.m. kickoff tonight and tomorrow night. Coyotes will kick off at 6 p.m. at the Wool Bowl tomorrow night as well. Hour earlier than normal.
Yep.
Please make note.
We're chasing the storm.
That's right. We'll be carrying Goddard Rocket Football on our sister station for the radio broadcast at 106.1 FM Fierro. And then the live streaming video and on-demand video later, of course, at ksdptv.com in the Goddard Rocket channel.
Yep. And pregame's at 5:30 for our teams, 6:30 if you're watching the Bulldog game.
Yes. That'll be Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night.
And then here tonight we will have Eastern New Mexico University Greyhound football for you tonight, beginning 5:45 here on 106.5. We kick off at 6 p.m.
Nice.
So, football aplenty.
Got you covered on all your pigskin needs.
Yes. So, but yeah, make note, 6 p.m. If you're going to pack up and get ready for a 7 p.m. kickoff tonight or tomorrow, you're going to miss a hunk of the football game.
Speaking of fulfilling your football fantasies, I heard draft day is coming up for you guys.
Sunday, yeah.
The commish put out the call yesterday.
Yeah, Sunday we're going to go over to his house and do our live draft.
Nice.
Probably eat food.
Do you
smack.
Go in with like a plan in mind beforehand, or are you somebody who just kind of like lets the chips fall where they
I got to be honest. Back in the day, I used to pay way more attention to this, and I'd study. I'd even go buy those magazines.
Oh yeah. How to set up the best team.
Yeah, and usually the information was a month behind, but I'd read them anyway. Now, to be honest, I've done like no prep. I'm just going to walk in there and just
with the knowledge that you have, because you do have a pretty vast knowledge of what's going on right now.
And because I follow Washington more, I'll probably pick more of their guys thinking they're going to do something, and I'll learn later they're not.
Right.
But I'll go in there, and I usually, in this league, based on past experience, there's a couple guys that study, and just because I don't know if they just have nothing better to do in their life, so they really sit on the waiver wire and just do all that. And then there's people that just completely sleep on it. And so there's a good mix in there where I can fare middling. It's like I can go in there and cherry pick when I need to, and ride a hunch here and there.
The couple of seasons that I participated, I literally went in with okay, we're going to go for quarterback now. Let's see what our picks are. Ooh, that one looks good. Ooh, that looks good. Like, I basically prepared for my fantasy football season like I shop.
Well, and to be honest,
this looks delicious.
To be honest, your chance is just as good as the person that spends copious. I mean, there's those people that study and it's like, well, I would normally put him in, but because they're playing in Oakland and he does not do well on turf that's natural grass that's indoors typically, we're not going to start him today. And I'm like, who studies that?
That's what always threw me. Is like, I shouldn't need to know when Indianapolis is having a bye week. You know, it's like, why do I care so much? It's so manufactured.
To be honest, the rankings and stuff are usually pretty good when they do these drafts. So I just kind of follow the rankings and pay attention to bye weeks. That's kind of what I do. I look at it and I say, okay, this guy's rankings, that I need that need. He doesn't clog up my bye weeks. That's a good guy to grab. That's literally what I'm doing draft day. To be honest, there's always one first round. There's always like, okay, I want to get this guy. I've got the number 2 pick. I can grab this guy. But past that, you got to play the field and see what's going on. So.
It's just always rough when you have two running backs that are both on buys.
Well, yeah, and see, that's where you got to be smart.
Right.
That's where if you're in your draft paying attention, it's like, ooh, I'd love to have him. Oh, he's got the same bye week as my other guy. I can't draft that guy. If you pay attention then you avoid that problem later on when you're like, oh, man, week 7, all my running backs are on bye week. I got to go draft, guy that's been sitting on the waiver wire that's going to give me 3 points. You just play a little bit. It feels, that's half of it is pay attention.
Right.
You pay attention. Oh, great. Now I did,
And I will say that's probably the most I've ever paid attention to a season of football.
But then you got to pay attention even more because you're like, okay, well, I got a quarterback and a running back and a wide receiver. They all got the same bye week. That's a problem. That means 3 starters that week are not going to be playing. I need to not do that.
Or you're going to have your alternates, and God forbid you have, you you don't usually throw many eggs in your alternate basket, you know. So
well, and you also throw your alternates in those guys that you think might be something,
Right.
like guys that were rookies or people that you don't really have a history on, but they got potential, and so you're like, okay, I'm going to put this guy on my bench just in case he turns out to be somebody, and by week 3 he might be my starter.
the scary thing about living in my world and dipping a toe into several different ponds is sometimes I'll recognize a name and be like, ooh, that's an up-and-comer. Just turns out he was on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, do I just know him from because I saw him on, some parade show?
And then that's the problem, too, is depending how close you pay attention to football. Because then some people just draft because they're like, oh, yeah, Antonio Gates guy is good. It's like, yeah, he was good 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Just because he's in the league, like there's going to be people that draft Zeke Elliott, like right out the gate.
Right.
And you're like, that guy's going to get you 200 yards this year. Why are you wasting a pick on that guy? He's going to be on a waiver. Like if it's a savvy football league, that guy's sitting on someone's waiver wire. But if you play with a bunch of noobs or people that don't know, then guys like Zeke Elliott end up being drafted in the 3rd round or the 1st round.
Ooh, that's a name draw.
It's like that was a great pick 10 years ago, bud.
Yep.
So there's some of that going on. And that's where you just know not to do that. Like that's my problem now is I'll hang on. I'll be in those later rounds like, oh yeah, that tight end, a backup tight end, he was good 10 years ago. Might be, like there's only a few exceptions to that right now. Like a Zach Ertz is a guy that you still want to draft right now, even though more than likely he's a starting tight end, even though he's 100 years, and he just might end up doing something. But I would never draft him early. Like that guy, I'd grab him, but it's like 8-10 rounds.
Right.
Then I'll put him on my roster.
Do you generalize your defense, or do you go in with a specific defense in mind?
No. Unless the defense falls in my lap, I don't even think about it till the end.
Gotcha.
I focus on wide receivers, running backs, mostly, and then tight end and quarterback as I see opportunity there. But,
fair enough.
I look heavy wide receiver, tight end. That's just me. Wide receiver, running back.
I've had at least one or two games where that D line made the entire difference between.
Absolutely. And to be honest, it depends on the league. Like Thomas's league is a little goofy, so the defense has way more stock in it than it should, and so you got to pay attention to how your commish sets the scoring up. But in a normal default league, that defense isn't that impactful. Sure. I mean, it is, but not like Thomas's is. Like he puts special teams points on there, and he gives them like way too many points for sacks and stuff, and you're like, geez.
You like them special. I understand.
Yes, but this is a bit much. But anyway, same with kickers. Kickers, I mean, they can win you a game once a week, but if you're relying on your kicker every week, then you got a bad team.
Yeah.
Kickers, I swap kickers out. Because literally, unless you got one of those kickers that's like the elite kicker, they're a dime a dozen. They're the same. One guy's going to get you 9 points a week.
Unless you've got a golden toed warrior, you pretty much dime a dozen.
Yep, exactly.
There you go.
Kind of how it works. So good luck this weekend. I'll let you know on Tuesday.
Oh,
because we won't have a show Monday.
Right. No show from
so I'll let you
Labor
know
Day.
Tuesday how the draft goes.
Yes, sir.
How good, the bad, the ugly.
Sound good.
So we'll see. I don't know. To be honest, and I've done no prep. Like maybe this weekend I'll crack a website open and start looking around a little bit, but I have not done anything about it. And the next 2 days is not going to happen either. I'm a little busy. So
yeah, things are a little backed up.
Maybe Saturday will calm down a little bit for me. So maybe that. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a bit. Lots of rain to talk about.
Yeah.
I think my next guest will be happy about that. Because join us in just a little bit will be Steve Alvarez with Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. Of course, no rain for next weekend. Because that's Dragonfly Festival. So we may be, but up to it and all that, I'm sure Bitter Lake is welcoming these moisture with open arms. So we'll talk with Steve, talk about Dragonfly Festival here in just a bit. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, let's take a look at that weather, where wet is in the forecast.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some of that tropical air making its way into our area. Showers and thunderstorms will be popping up this afternoon. Partly sunny, and we're in the low 90s on the high. We do have some showers in the forecast for the overnight hours, dipping down to the upper 60s. Rain and thunderstorms look pretty likely most of the day on Friday. Partly cloudy, and we're in the upper 80s. A few showers for the holiday weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 76 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 64%. Winds calm at the moment. We are looking at a 30% chance at some showers and thunderstorms for this afternoon. Mostly sunny. 93 our high today with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, our chance of rain bumps up to 40%. So you might want to pack some rain gear if you're heading out the Wool Bowl tonight. Mostly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 68 degrees. South winds at about 5 miles per hour. For Friday, we are looking at a 70% chance at showers and thunderstorms, mainly for the afternoon. Mostly cloudy. High of only 86 tomorrow with northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. They're expecting less than a tenth of an inch of rain tomorrow afternoon unless we get a thunderstorm through the area. Tomorrow night, our chance of rain's at 60%, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 66 degrees. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's why, by the way, if you haven't heard, they are moving kickoffs up 6 p.m. tonight and tomorrow night. And tomorrow night, I think they're trying to get ahead of these storms. That's why that's why they moved kickoff up here. That's for this very reason. That's my understanding anyway. For the weekend, Saturday, a 40% chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy, 85 for a high with winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. 30% chance of rain Saturday night. Sunday, a 30% chance at showers, mostly cloudy, and 85 for a high. Labor Day on Monday, a 30% chance at showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, and 83. So maybe not the most ideal for cooking outdoors and stuff, but I'm kind of thinking it is. I mean, you do your grilling on the patio or porch, you got a little cover in there, the 85. That's, it's a nice change. That sounds like a good cookout weather to me, but I think this is great weekend weather-wise, but we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't mess up football, but other than that, bring it on. All right, it is 6:18. We're going to take about a 2.5-minute break, and then Steve Alvarez with Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge will join us here talking all about Dragonfly Festival. That's up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
C.S. Lewis once wrote, "If we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world." At this time in America, things just don't feel right. There's so much anger and negativity and sadness. We seem to be tearing each other down rather than trying to build each other up. Many people are either being medicated or self-medicating to numb themselves or to simply escape from the problems of this world. Our world is just plain and simple broken. The good news is that the plan of God from the beginning is not broken. God's plan is perfect. He sent his perfect son to die on the cross for our sins to make us right again. He didn't come to make things perfect in this life, but with a message that if we follow him, things will be perfect in the next one. He calls for us to live a life of meaning, loving God and doing his will by loving and serving those around us. So join us as we strive to know Jesus in this crazy world as we prepare for that perfect world to come.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla español.
This lot is hot. The pre-Labor Day sale is on now at Carlsbad Chevrolet with red hot deals across the lot on an amazing selection of vehicles, like a 2020 Kia Optima priced under $19,000, now just $299 a month, or a 2018 Ford Escape just $239 a month. Or blaze ahead with the all-new 2025 Chevy Trax Active, just $379 a month, or a 2024 Chevy Equinox LT marked down to just $289 a month. The Pre-Labor Day Bash, on now at Carlsbad Chevrolet, 2155 South Canal.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Alaska is the only state name that can be typed on one row of keys. Go ahead and try typing the other 49 states. We'll wait. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, Steve Alvarez back with us. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Mike. How's it going?
How's life at the refuge this morning?
It's a little hectic right now, as
It's
always.
busy. It is arguably probably the busiest time of year out at Bitter Lake right now, because we are basically a week away from this year's Dragonfly Festival.
next Saturday, September 7th.
Yeah, and technically next Friday things will kick
that's
off.
correct.
Because the one day party always spills into 3 days. That's kind of how it goes into.
Exactly.
But we will kind of unofficially or officially kick off Friday night with they'll start with a Dragonfly
presentation.
Correct.
Karen Gaines, she did a lot of research at the refuge, and when we first found out we had that many dragonflies, they started doing a lot of different things out there, and she did, I think, her master's out there, and she's been being a
so
guide.
This has been her laboratory for a good hunk of her life.
She really loves Bitter Lake, so she's a good presenter.
So she's going to kind of kick things off, and then, weather permitting, they'll have a star party afterwards. So bring your telescopes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's really cool because when you get away from Roswell, even though it's not a huge town, all the lights
it makes a big difference.
Yeah, so you go out there and it's pretty dark. As long as the clouds stay away, we're good.
Yeah, absolutely. So the weather permitting, knock on wood here, and then Saturday it kicks off with all the tours, all the fun, and everything.
Well, let me let you also. It's the Roswell Astronomy Club.
They're the ones that
has been doing that, and they've been volunteering. They've been doing a great job.
Yeah, so they kind of make it. They give you that fun part, and so So Dragonfly Festival goes to the pond and beyond.
There you go.
There's
That's
a slogan
right.
for you.
That's right.
but yeah, it is really a fun weekend. If you've never come out to Dragonfly Festival, please make a point to come out this year. There's so much going on Saturday,
and everything's free.
That's it. Everything is free.
Yeah.
Now to take advantage of some of the stuff, you do need to pre-sign up.
Yeah, we're getting really busy. A lot of our tours are already booked up.
Okay.
If you want to go ahead and try to reserve a deal, a tour,
yes,
call 575-244-6256.
Yes, that is the phone number.
And if it's busy, just keep trying because we get a lot. We only got one phone.
And if you're driving or whatever and can't write that down, if you go to friendsofbitterlake.org, click on the Dragonfly Festival link, it'll have the phone number there and the schedule, the tour times, and everything right there.
The other thing, we don't have advertising. I think we do on the website, but for the last couple of years, we've had a butterfly release.
Yeah, that was the other thing. I was like, is that full or is there still a few openings there?
We got quite a bit of butterflies available. We got about 200 butterflies to release. So they're monarch butterflies.
So if you have some kids who would like to sign up to do that, it's free.
It's a great photo op. The butterflies will be on the kid's finger, and then it takes off.
It's one of the highlights of the Saturday is to have the kids get there, and it's really cool. And of course, they learn about the monarch butterfly and learn kind of their purpose and what what they're basically they're creating this next batch that's going to get the herd to the next point.
Exactly, and there is some concern about the population. That's why you wouldn't think, but the monarchs, at one time they're even considering listing it as endangered, and we're like, wow, that's pretty crazy. But we're trying to make sure the populations come back. And,
absolutely. Well, and they serve such a role in the ecosystem, and they're very like if you're studying butterflies, they're very interesting.
They're cool.
They got because they're so tough yet so frail at the same time. It's so interesting.
Yep, and their bright colors is a warning to the predators. If you eat me, you're gonna get sick. Cause, they eat milkweed and. That has a toxin in their body.
Yeah, their defense is they taste like crap.
Yeah, they do. Not only that, but you get sick. That's true.
Hey, that's a fine defense, and no one's to eat you.
And speaking of butterflies, we also have had one of the first projects other than the Dragonfly Festival that the Friends of Bitter Lake has done, we had a butterfly trail, and they planted native plants, milkweed,
things that encourage the monarchs.
Exactly. Not only monarchs, but other butterflies and stuff. But and if you're interested, you can always try to help in the spring. We do a spring planting, and in the fall, sometimes we do some cleanup. So let us know. Give us a call.
Absolutely. That's another, and because Dragonfly Festival weekend, it's a Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge, big tentpole event, but it does not happen without the Friends of Bitter Lake organization.
Correct.
They are the volunteer organization that's kind of the official part of the Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge.
Yeah, exactly. We but on that note too is that on the butterflies is even though it's the Dragonfly Festival, we have used the festival to kind of highlight and let people know about the wildlife diversity. Bitter Lake is a biological, pretty cool place. I mean, it is really amazing.
Well, every time I have Steve or anyone from Bitter Lake or Friends of Bitter Lake on, I tell people Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is kind of like the Pilot Flying J for the nature's world. It's home to study and to preserve habitat, plant life and wildlife native to this area.
Yeah.
But the other role is all your migratory animals, birds, butterflies.
Oh yeah, that was originally.
It's a rest stop. They come. While they're traveling north or traveling south, they fuel up. They sometimes have their offspring. It just depends the time of year, and then they move on to their next destination.
Mike, you're good on the biology. We're gonna have to hire you, man.
That's kind of what Bitter Lake is.
Yeah, it is really, really cool place. And the thing is, it's only about 7 miles from town. I mean, people here in Roswell probably don't appreciate it, or if they do, it's just you have this really cool place right next door.
Absolutely.
I mean, that doesn't happen all the time.
It literally is an oasis in the desert.
Oh,
That's exactly what
it is. Perfect.
When you watch the Looney Tune cartoons and Bugs Bunny's going through the desert and he comes across that thing, that's Bitter Lake.
And we see Bugs Bunny out there with the old jackrabbits.
That's right. Exactly. So that being said, Dragonfly Festival is really that one time a year where we let the public see parts that you don't necessarily get to see during the year.
Correct.
Because at the end of the day, it's a wildlife refuge.
Yeah.
You are not the priority there. You are a visitor. You're a spectator.
Right.
You're just there observing life. You're not to engage or to interfere with it.
But we love everybody's support. That's the whole thing. We get public support through this, and it's been an awesome event. You just reminded me another event that people can come, not event, but a part of the program. At 6:30, we have a bird program. They take you out to the closed areas to see some. And Bitter Lakes Refuge, we've got like over 350 different types of birds. And just recently, we had a spoonbill, a bird that normally lives in the subtropical area like Florida, Louisiana. And it got blown off course.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool because it was hanging around the ponds and it was beautiful. Look, people think it's pink, so they think it's a flamingo.
Gotcha, but it's not.
No, it's not.
And that's the other cool aspect of Bitter Lake that just happens from time to time out there is the nature's anomalies there where a species of bird or something, like you said, gets blown off the the Gulf Streams messed up and they got separated from the group, and they end up resting there. And sometimes they'll stop and get rest up or lay offspring or whatever.
Oh, they'll stay there for a little while and then they move on.
With the growth again.
Exactly. And then I always tell people at the visitor center that sometimes we'll have people go, "What's out here?" It's because they just did not hit the right time. It's dead. It's hot. Nothing's around.
Sure.
And then they go, "Man, what's out here?" And then we tell them, "Hey, come at a different time because you never know what's going to show up."
Think of Bitter Lake in terms like how you think of weather. Like when it's hot and the hottest part of the day, the last thing you want to do is be outside and stall.
Correct.
Animals are the exact same way.
Yep.
They do their work in the earliest parts of the day or at dusk or in the later parts of the day.
Exactly, or it's cooler.
Yeah, that's when the action happens.
Yep.
During the day, they're hunkered down, cooling off like the rest of us.
We're going to hire you, Mike. Mr. Biologist.
Yeah. And but that's life out there. And as soon as you understand that, then it all makes sense. Everything makes sense.
It's
You're there
cool.
just to, and really the fight, and this is like when they're talking about, and this is where the friends come in. And if you really want to get involved, become a friend. Like these projects he's talking about in the fall and the spring that they do. This is because we talk about the animal life, but the plant life is probably the bigger of the two battles. That because there's so many non-native plants and stuff that have ended up here that work well here because of our climate, but they work so well that they crowd out and fight out the stuff that's native and things like that. So the battle going on within the boundaries of the refuge is keeping the non-native out and producing and protecting the native.
Exactly. That's part of our mission there. We do try to get rid of a lot of invasive plants. You know, we had when I first got here, we had a lot of salt cedar. It looked like a big forest of we should have called Bitter Lake National Forest. It was so many, but over time they've removed quite a bit of it, and it's been
and the
good
natives
for the
starting
habitat.
to take back over again.
Some
a little
of it,
bit.
yes, that's right.
But
exactly.
it's a process.
Oh
and
yeah,
and that's kind of getting back to what you were saying before about coming out to Bitter Lake, and you come out at 4 different times a year at Bitter Lake. It's a 4 different experience.
And you'll see different animals at different times.
Mm-hmm.
The cranes, you're not going to see cranes right now.
Yeah,
you'll see them October.
Yeah, you're a month or 2 out from the cranes.
Exactly. So, but another thing you can see is we do have an endangered plant called the Pecos sunflower.
Okay.
And it's cool because that they're blooming right at the time we have the festival.
Oh,
so
perfect
when you're
timing.
driving out there,
It knows when the show is.
Yeah, and if it hits just right, it is pretty cool because
Absolutely.
the refuge will be really pretty. You'll just see like a sheet of yellow all over the marsh area. And most sunflowers, they'll bloom away from the marsh. But the interesting thing about the Pecos, it likes water and near the water.
Okay,
and
so it's going to be
alkaline
closer
soils.
to
So it'll
the
be
lake
right
there.
next to the marshes.
Yeah,
So
okay.
It's really, really cool. So,
Interesting. Well,
yeah.
this is what with Dragonfly Festival. That's Saturday. Of course, we were talking about the different tours. So one of them's the Dragonfly Tour, and that's when you're going out and seeing the various species of dragonflies
they have
things.
special specialists, the guides.
Yeah.
They come here specifically to teach you guys about dragonflies.
And so those tours will focus heavily on that.
Yeah.
Now we also have what's called the wildlife tours, and
Correct.
that kind of covers more
the management,
the overall
and
aspect of the
our biologist, he'll tell you things about the refuge. Like right now, we do have a shortage of water. One of our creeks is
That's what I was saying earlier. I was like, they're not complaining about this weekend. I know the rest of us are a little worried, but Bitter Lake's loving this weekend.
Yeah. So the biologists have been working heavily on getting, we've got some endangered species that live in the creeks, and in fact they had to move some out of there and take them to Dexter recovery.
Well, I would
area.
imagine, Nick, as those water levels rise and low, that changes the chemical makeup of that water a little
it
bit.
It does, the temperature,
and it affects
all that stuff.
That species,
yeah,
plant
it
life
does.
and animal life.
Exactly.
Down there. Yeah.
So it's the refuge. People think, what do you do out here? What is out here? Well, we do a variety of things, like you mentioned, the invasive plants.
Mm-hmm.
We work the water to make sure we got water during the migration. We've got to watch all our endangered species. Sure. We got the public to worry about, the visitor center.
Sure.
So there's quite a bit of stuff going out there.
Well, and that's you're kind of that liaison to let the public act, because this is this is why Steve and his staff and the
That's
people
why I'm there.
You're there to allow the public to enjoy these beautiful things, but also remind the public why it's here.
Exactly.
But at the same time, be also that go-between for those researchers, the studiers, the scientists, the people that are truly learning and contributing to knowledge, the human history, the knowledge of what these animals and plants do.
Yeah, it's cool. And I've been doing this for about 30 years, and it's just amazing. I always like to remind the public is that, hey, this stuff is yours, not mine.
Sure.
This belongs to the American people, and you guys need to be so proud because there is so many cool things
Absolutely.
in
You're
the
just
United
in charge
States.
of taking care of it.
Yeah, you got all these national parks, you got the national forest, you got these beautiful refuges. I mean, the tremendous resources we have on this country is really cool.
Absolutely, and this is come see these beautiful treasures
Oh,
here in your
yeah,
own backyard.
it is.
And Dragonfly. Oh, one other tour, and it may be full, but you could try. Is they do an early bird tour there on Saturday morning?
Yeah, that's the
that one, and
it's
that
close.
tour focuses on birds, and
birds.
it's early.
and normally, I think it is full, but give us a call or maybe even show up. Because what we'll do is we'll carpool and follow the people there.
We'll figure it out one way or another if there's enough interest. Because it is, but it's dark 30. You're getting up at 6:30 for that one. So that's why it's called the early bird.
Early bird tour, exactly. And there's a lot of we focus this a lot on kids' activities. There's a fishing pole. provided by the New Mexico Game and Fish.
Yeah, they're going to be out there doing
they've
their
been
tradition.
great partners. They got some archery out there. We've got a bunch of little activities that they could do at some of the stations. A lot of exhibitors. This year I got a lot of vendors coming out. So we have Stellar's Coffee will have a trailer out there.
Awesome.
So you could have some early morning
and I
coffee.
believe every time you're purchasing coffee from them, you're helping out the CASA kids too. So it's
that's correct.
A double whammy helper there.
Exactly. It's cool. So we're excited to have them.
Usually scouts are out there with food.
Oh yeah, the scouts will be selling probably hot dogs and hamburgers. And,
excellent.
That's a fundraiser for them. They always love coming out.
They'll be very popular around lunchtime.
Oh yeah. But I've been here since it pretty much started, and it's pretty cool to see that everybody's. When I ask for people to come over, they get excited about coming because it's such a successful event.
It is. It's a great. It's a fun. It is really the crown jewel of Bitter Lake's
activities.
Activities for the year.
It is.
And I hope you come out to Bitter Lake for Dragonfly Festival in the hopes that you learn what the rest of how awesome that refuge is.
And if it depends. Right now, I've seen a lot of dragonflies around, so you guys should be
good
pretty
year
good
for those.
Yeah,
Huh?
bird life. We've seen a lot of waterfowl, but not as many shore.
I got a feeling these
songbirds
105 temps have probably deterred them from hanging out and
Yeah.
stuff. So maybe this week or two with the weather, moisture might draw a few in.
Yeah, every
now
year
and
is
then.
different because one year I thought it was a dead time for birds. And man, they saw a variety of birds, and it was exciting.
This might be a blessing in disguise. A couple weeks of cooler temps and,
and then
a
boom,
little moisture before Dragonfly. Perk
well,
things up a little
even
bit
with the
out there.
rain that we just had, it filled up some of the areas, and we did see birds.
Yeah, you're
going
to see. Even plant life. I mean, you put a little natural rainwater on it, and
it just pops up.
overnight. It starts
exactly.
Well, look at your weeds in your yard. It does the same thing.
That's right. The other thing, Mike, I was going to mention is if you can't make it on Saturday, we have had Sunday tours.
Yes.
Now on Sunday it's just tours. There's not exhibitors. All the other stuff is on Saturday.
They're just Saturday.
Yeah. But Sunday we do have a variety of dragonfly tours still available.
They start about 9 and they usually wrap up about 1 or so in the afternoon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we run about 3 tours, and but it's kind of good. It's a slower pace, nice. They've been fun, you know. So hopefully we'll see you.
Yeah, trust me, if you've never come out, check it out. Go to friendsofbitterlake.org and read everything. By the way, there you can see some of the cool artwork for this year's Dragonfly Festival.
I'm glad you mentioned that because Aubriana Gonzalez from Washington Avenue, 4th grader, was this year's winner.
Yeah.
We had about 500 entries. Mike,
I was one of the judges,
and so any of the kids throw rocks at your window for not voting for them?
Well, to be honest, it was not easy. They were so talented, these kids.
It was a lot of fun. I was glad to see you there.
It was hard, and there was grown people making arguments over back and forth on what they like better and this stuff. So
it was a cool process.
It was very cool. It's very cool. But yes, we had an amazing winner. But thank you to every single student that turned in. You made a bunch of people happy. Just seeing all your beautiful
it is.
artwork.
Everybody, we got a lot of comments about the artwork. And it's been fun. It's been a fun deal.
It is, and so when you see all the flyers and things like that, be sure to congratulate her and all the winners, because you can see all the other artwork and stuff too, because they have different categories by age group and stuff, and then they have an overall, which is your flyer and all that.
I'll
stuff.
be best to show. So and they get to win some cash too.
That's right. You do get cash money.
Yeah,
and they get
she
not
won
just bragging
about
rights,
$100, and the Friends of Bitter Lake provide that, and and I'll have I've been here for like 20 something years. And, we first started this Dragonfly poster contest. I've had kids at that time that are now adults. And
right,
they
now
say,
they
go, hey, how's that Dragonfly thing? Or they still remember how exciting it was.
I think we should make some of them judges next time.
Well, we should. That's right. That's true. That's not a bad idea.
A full circle moment there. That'd be kind of cool.
That's right.
But please come out, and then of course I do want to put a plug in for the gift store there at Friends of Bitter Lake, or at Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge. That is run by the Friends of Bitter Lake.
That is.
And that whenever you go in there and buy books or buy T-shirts or buy gifts from there, you're contributing to conservation projects and everything going. It goes right back to Bitter Lake Wildlife.
And the Friends have done a wonderful job running that bookstore. Right now, Jana Birch, she's our manager. We had Barbara Shear. She used to run it too. Together, they have made that bookstore just awesome. I mean, the items you get there are things that you normally can't get anywhere in locally.
To be honest, it rivals like a Smithsonian gift store.
Yeah, it's,
like if you go to like a Smithsonian museum and you see as much stuff. If you've never been to one, there's a ton of stuff in there. It rivals something like that.
And as you're probably well aware, it's got a lot of natural nature stuff, from birds to plants to insects to fish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really and they get some stuff that you can get for Christmas because there's some cool stuff.
I was about to say, these are great gifts things for stuff. Like if you're looking for cool toys for kids that are educational but actually fun and kids that want to play with, they've got stuff like that. But if you've got like the books, like if you do have a reader, a nature loves that, there's going to be a ton of that. Clothing, everyone loves T-shirts and stuff and hats. And if you're doing Bitter Lake local stuff and you have someone has a local thing, get them the T-shirts.
The T-shirts, we get comments about that all the time. They say, man, your T-shirts are so...
you're a walking billboard for Bitter Lake, and it's a great thing, so we'll appreciate that.
Exactly. And the thing is, too, like if you have family, friends come visit Roswell, Bitter Lake's a perfect destination to take them because you can go to the bookstore, you can go to the visitor center. They got a really nice orientation film, and then you can take the drive, a 7-mile drive around the marsh area.
Absolutely, yeah. Come do it. Now, I want to share this real quick since you're here, and I was so the other day I was at my my Roswell Chamber of Commerce board meeting, so we were having that meeting, and we always get reports from various, and we have County Commissioner Dara Dana gives her report every meeting and all that. And so she was giving her report, and she was giving an update on some of the road work and things.
Yeah.
And this is how big a deal Dragonfly Festival is. They've got some work that they need doing out there and all that.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, you got to move that, delay it, whatever happens. That road has to be A-OK for next weekend when Dragonfly Festival. If you don't have it right for that, we county commissioners aren't going to hear the end of that. So she was kind of talking about the meetings, like, no, you got to get that right for Dragonfly Festival, because if you mess that up that day, we're gonna have problems.
You just remind me how funny it is, because we had 1 year had not done the Dragonfly Festival because it runs by volunteers, and we didn't have enough. This is when we started going. We didn't have enough volunteers to really make it happen. So the manager said, "Well, we can't do it this year." Well, the following year, boy, we got a lot of phone calls saying, "Hey, we got a lot of volunteers because they did not want to see that thing canceled."
That's awesome.
So it's pretty cool.
And so, if you like, what's the big deal? Come out next weekend, see it for yourself. Try to get a tour if you can. Go online, call, and see if you can get a tour book. But if you can't, please come out anyway and enjoy. And who knows, maybe you can get bumped. Sometimes if there's someone does show or something, they'll get in there. But please come out. Come out Saturday. Bring your kids. Sign up for the butterfly release for the kids there.
Exactly. A lot of butterflies. You need to get out there.
Come out there and enjoy some fishing, enjoy the archery with the kids. You know, that's the other beauty of it, too. This is that sportsman and nature working together.
It's a good family thing, I tell you.
Outdoors people and environmentalists work together. That's where, because they understand the land better than everybody else. And that's what this event's about. And it's about all that. So come see it.
It's cool.
Come be a part. It is a melding of all of us taking care of and loving the land and appreciating the beauties it has.
And all the volunteers, like we got the people that helped us. We can't do it. We have volunteers that work from other refuges. They have known about our festival. And like when I ask for help, they just jump on it because they are so excited to come and help. So It's kind of a cool deal.
Yeah, come see the biggest weekend that Bitter Lake has every year. And again, it's next weekend. Friday night kicks off with the Dragonfly talk and everything. That gets underway about 6 or so, I think.
6:30.
6:30.
Get there. I would say 5:45, 6 o'clock, because it's first come, first serve.
Sure.
And we only got
limited
like 50
spots.
And once it's full, it's full.
It's full. And then, weather permitting, our astronomy club will take to the stars and go check out some stars and planets and things. And then Saturday morning, like I said, 6:30, kind of kicks off the early bird tour, and then right after that,
it's from 8 o'clock, every hour.
8 o'clock on, and then
the festival itself, the bulk of it's from 9 to 4.
Gotcha.
Actually 9 to 3, because by 3 o'clock things start kind of petering out.
Sure, and generally, but warmer part of the day, people are ready to go home at that point, I think. And then, of course, Sunday morning we'll be doing tours again. They'll fire about 9 o'clock. Again, friendsofbitterlake.org has got all the information. If you want to book a tour direct, you can call 575-244-6256. Again, 575-244-6256 to reserve a early bird or wildlife or dragonfly tour. Or sign up for the monarch butterfly release.
Yep, that's it. And if you don't even sign up, normally it's for kids, but we do have some adults in fact, if we have extra butterflies left over and you are into
they gotta be
butterflies,
released. We need a person
yeah,
release
you
it.
can come out and do it. So it's a good photo op.
It is, and the kids love it. It's a lot of fun and it's pretty. Yeah, when you see hundreds of butterflies getting let off at the same time, it's kind of neat.
It is, and we've seen. It's interesting because after everything's faded and over the season, we'll be walking the butterfly trail, and then you'll see a monarch butterfly flying around. You're like, oh, cool,
As long as that thing that doesn't happen, that happens on TikTok videos sometimes. You ever see that where like a kid releases like a frog or something, and then a big fish right away?
What's funny is like the butterflies. A lot of times they don't hang. You barely put them on the finger, and then it takes off.
Gone.
And the kids are like, their face is like, what happened? It's so
you just released it. You didn't want to hang out. Well, they kind of have a mind of their own,
and it's pretty cool to watch them because even that, like just watching the kids like doing the fishing pool when they catch them. Oh, it's so hilarious to see their faces.
Yeah, come make memories. Come make family memories. Come see a side of our country that maybe you don't see very often.
Yeah.
And come, and who knows, maybe this inspires for more family outings. And and if you loved everything you see next weekend, make sure you come out for Cranes of Cocoa in the fall. That's another awesome experience. Time to, and then check back each season. Come back in the winter months. Come in January. Come back in the spring when that's another busy time of year too. There's lots to see. So, friendsofbitterlake.org. Everything you need to know about Dragonfly Festival, including tour times and sign-ups and all that good stuff too.
Thanks, Mike,
Thank
for
you,
all
Steve.
your help.
Anytime, I'm sure you got about 10 more fires to stomp out, so I'll let you go do that. He has big, wide shoes to stomp out all them fires.
There you go.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. Hey, so long.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
It is 8:48. Let's pause for news. Your Chaves County sports update. Lou Dobbs, I'm sorry, your Red Apple report and commercial break. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Sorello. The legal battle in the Alexi Treviso murder trial continues. About the only thing we know at this point is that the trial, which was scheduled to begin this week, is not happening. Treviso is the woman who is accused of throwing the body of her newborn baby in a bathroom trash can at Artesia General Hospital. Prosecutors and defense attorneys continue their legal wrangling over what statements from Treviso will be allowed at the trial. Treviso's defense team claims her statements in front of an officer should not be used against her because, one, she didn't understand her rights, and two, the statements should be protected through doctor and patient privacy laws. 4 Artesia police officers are getting commendations for their life-saving efforts. At this week's City Council meeting, Sergeants James Contreras and Xavier Anaya and officers David Barlow and Alexander Williams were honored. Also at City Council this week, a new agreement approved for the Artesia Rotary Club to install little libraries at city parks and other properties. The first locations will be at Central Park, Eagle Draw, Jamaica Park, and JC Park. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. It's football Thursday night style as the Goddard Rockets host the Carlsbad Cavemen. That's tonight at 6 o'clock. Goddard coming off a season-opening loss at home to Portales. Meanwhile, let's talk a little volleyball. Roswell will be playing at Lovington tonight. Roswell looking for its first victory after losing on the road at Los Lunas on Saturday. Meanwhile, tonight, the NMMI Lady Colts 1-1 on the season at Mescalero. That starts at 6:30. If you're wondering, Goddard starts its volleyball season next Tuesday against Gadsden. Dexter will be playing at Loving on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Dexter is 2-1 on the season. Hagerman also 2-1 on the season. They'll be playing at Dexter next Tuesday. And hey, Lake Arthur is 2-0 after starting the season with wins over Hondo and Loving. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
all across America. This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
The number of 401k millionaires is at an all-time high. According to data from Fidelity, nearly 500,000 401k accounts had balances of at least $1 million as of June 30th. That's up 2.5% from the previous quarter. A new poll shows a majority of Americans believe you need $200,000 to be happy. The financial advice website cardrates.com recently surveyed over 780 employed Americans between the ages of 18 and 43 to get their feelings on money and happiness. It found about 56% of those surveyed said they would be content with a liquid net worth of over $200,000. That's grown since 2010 when a Gallup survey found that working Americans valued happiness at $75,000. Google says that it fixed its AI chatbot Gemini after it was unable to generate images of white people. When the controversy erupted back in February, critics, including Elon Musk, accused Google's AI of being racist. In response, the tech giant shut down Gemini's ability to depict any human. Now it's back up for any paying users of the English language version. I'm Liz Radavali, and that's your Market Report.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. Resort living can be yours with 361 days of sunshine when you live at the residences at 400 Central in St. Petersburg, Florida. Now under construction. Call 727-205-8517. That's 727-205-8517. The residences at 400 Central in St. Petersburg, Florida. Go to 400central.com. That's the number 400central.com.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some of that tropical air making its way into our area. Showers and thunderstorms will be popping up this afternoon. Partly sunny, and we're in the low 90s on the high. We do have some showers in the forecast for the overnight hours, dipping down to the upper 60s. Rain and thunderstorms look pretty likely most of the day on Friday. Partly cloudy, and we're in the upper 80s. A few showers for the holiday weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
The Labor Day savings event is on now at Roswell Honda with scorching savings across the lot on a great selection of vehicles like a 2023 Toyota Tacoma priced under $34,000 or a brand new Honda CR-V for under $36,000. In the service department, take $10 off your next oil change and tires are buy 3, get 1 free. Then join Roswell Honda Saturday, August 31st from 10 to 1 for free food, stuff for the kids, and your chance to score a 4-burner gas grill and $200 Super Meat Mart gift card. The Labor Day savings event on now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
Hey, Mary, come on in. Thanks for the invite. Your house smells great. What is that? I went and had a custom candle made at Farm and Ranch Candle Company here in Roswell. They're a local candle bar, and I was able to make my very own custom scent candle. Farm and Ranch Candle Company? That is so cool. Do they have any other stuff? You bet. They have a whole mega station to stock up on Trump tumblers, t-shirts, and more. Plus bridal and baby shower, handcrafted steel furniture, and so much more. Farm and Ranch Candle Company can make everything smell better. Everything? Well, almost everything. I'll get the diapers.
Farm and Ranch Candle Company, where patriots shop. Stop by 117 East 2nd on the corner of East Main and 2nd in Roswell. This lot is hot. The pre-Labor Day sale is on now at Carlsbad Chevrolet with red-hot deals across the lot on an amazing selection of vehicles like a 2020 Kia Optima priced under $19,000, now just $299 a month, or a 2018 Ford Escape just $239 a month. Or blaze ahead with the all-new 2025 Chevy Trax Active just $379 a month, or a 2024 Chevy Equinox LT marked down to just $289 a month. The pre-Labor Day Bash on now at Carlsbad Chevrolet, 2155 South Canal.
C.S. Lewis once wrote, If we find ourselves with a desire that nothing in this world can satisfy, the most probable explanation is that we were made for another world. At this time in America, things just don't feel right. There's so much anger and negativity and sadness. We seem to be tearing each other down rather than trying to build each other up. Many people are either being medicated or self-medicating to numb themselves or to simply escape from the problems of this world. Our world is just plain and simple broken. The good news is that the plan of God from the beginning is not broken. God's plan is perfect. He sent his perfect son to die on the cross for our sins to make us right again. He didn't come to make things perfect in this life, but with a message that if we follow him, things will be perfect in the next one. He calls for us to live a life of meaning, loving God and doing his will by loving and serving those around us. So join us as we strive to know Jesus in this crazy world as we prepare for that perfect world to come.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
When others say no, Roswell Hyundai says yes. The bank manager is at Roswell Hyundai for a short time to say yes. No social security number or ITIN number? Yes. No driver's license?
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Roswell Hyundai says yes. If you have a job that earns at least $12 an hour, Roswell Hyundai wants to say yes. Roswell Hyundai wants 100% approval, which means they want to say yes to you. Yes. Get zero down, zero payments till fall, plus up to $4,000 more for your trade. On now at the home of Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
Playing dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
Good morning. It is 8:57, closing in on 9 o'clock, top of the hour news here in just a bit. Next hour, we will have Amy McVeigh-Tejas join us and Carol Brooks talking about Museum Day coming up here in just a couple weeks. The second annual Museum Day where they're going to open up all the museums and have the passport and all come around. It's a pretty cool deal. They had a huge success with it last year, so we'll talk more about that with them next hour. As I've been saying all morning, don't forget, tonight, Goddard Rocket football. They are at home tonight playing Carlsbad. That game will take place at 6 p.m. this evening at the Wool Bowl. We will have that game for you on the radio on our sister station, 106.1 FM Fiero. You can listen to that game there, or you can watch it live at the Wool Bowl, or live streaming video at ksvptv.com. Click on the Goddard Rocket channel there tonight. Tomorrow night's Roswell Coyote football game has also been pushed up to a 6 p.m. kickoff. So tomorrow night, they're trying to get ahead of the weather. So 6 p.m. kickoff tomorrow night as well, too. That game will be right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. You'll also be able to watch live streaming video at ksvptv.com and the Roswell Coyote channel. And, of course, be out at the Wool Bowl to watch them on. Of course, tomorrow night we'll also have Bulldog football. They're traveling to Hobbs. That will have that game for you. That is a 7 p.m. kickoff in Hobbs. That one we'll have on our sister station, 990 AM in Artesia, or its translator, FM translator 93.7. Or you can check that out, ksvptv.com, in the Artesia Bulldog channel. Tonight here on 106.5, we will have Eastern New Mexico University Greyhound football for you. That game will take place at 6 p.m. this evening. You can hear it right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Doc Elder will be calling that game. Pregame will start around 5:45, I've been told. So we'll have that for you here tonight. And we'll carry their games. And most of their games will be on Saturdays, but their opener here is on Thursday night. So we will be carrying Greyhound football for you all season long here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. All right, national news up next. We'll be back on the other side.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. While former President Trump campaigns today in Michigan and Wisconsin, the Harris-Walz ticket tours South Georgia by bus, and a Kamala Harris pre-recorded interview is scheduled to air tonight on CNN.
Harris will be joined by her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, as they sit down with CNN's Dana Bash in Georgia, where the Democratic candidates have been on a campaign bus tour. The interview will end more than 5 weeks of the vice president not responding to in-depth questions in a sit-down format with a major news outlet.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston. It was captured on video. Heavily armed young men, allegedly members of a violent Venezuelan gang, taking over an apartment complex in the Denver suburb of Aurora, Colorado. It's focusing more attention on the Biden-Harris border crisis. Final legislative approval in California of a bill providing illegal aliens access to zero-down, zero-interest home loans.
It's called the Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program and has allocated $255 million to allow select applicants access to loans of up to $150,000 with no interest, nothing down, and no payments until the property is sold or refinanced. The program was set up as a lottery-style drawing in which 1,700 applicants could gain a major advantage for entry into the California home market, compliments of the taxpayers. The latest version of the program, approved by California Democrats this election year, allows illegals to enter the drawing. The bill passed with no Republican support and has yet to be signed by Governor Gavin Newsom. Bob Agnew reporting.
20 years to life in prison. The sentence for former Las Vegas area politician Robert Tellis, who's convicted of murdering an investigative reporter. On Wall Street this morning, the Dow up 226 points, the Nasdaq 198 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Americans now have more credit card debt than at any time in history, owing a staggering $1.3 trillion.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Into the attempted assassination of former President Trump. But there are still many unanswered questions about last month's incident in Pennsylvania.
The FBI wanted to show that they've been working away to gather evidence and get to the bottom of why Thomas Crooks did this. But despite an extensive analysis of social media, nearly 1,000 interviews and the viewing of hundreds of hours of video footage, the FBI says it still doesn't have a motive. They think Thomas Crooks worked alone. The FBI have found no evidence of co-conspirators or foreign involvement.
The BBC's Jenny Kumar. Natural gas leak resulting in the death of 2 people, 10 others injured at an Iranian Revolutionary Guard facility. Iranian state TV reporting the leak occurred at a workshop belonging to the Guard. 10 injured people transferred to a hospital for treatment. News and analysis at townhall.com. Hang in there, Vermonters. Help is on the way.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency says it has opened disaster recovery centers in Vermont to help residents and communities hit hard by violent flooding on July 9th through 11th. Governor Phil Scott says he sought another federal disaster declaration on Wednesday for the second bout of severe flooding that occurred at the end of last month. Officials say the state is also providing $7 million in grants to businesses and nonprofits damaged by this year's flooding. Keith Peters reporting.
Wildlife researchers doing something they haven't been able to do before. Somehow they got a camera inside a massive rattlesnake den in Colorado. They're able to watch live stream video. They're learning more about how rattlesnakes behave and care for their young. It's called Project RattleCam, spearheaded by researchers at California Polytechnic State University. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ, the travel witch, and what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Yes, sir.
Another cooler.
A little cooler, a little bit
moist.
Slowly but surely, we're making our way towards early fall.
Yeah, you're going to see 80s this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
It is.
I'm looking forward to seeing the 80s.
I'm liking.
Speaking of seeing the 80s, I did manage. I know yesterday was last night was wrestling night.
Yes.
But before the wrestling kicked in, I did manage to get about halfway through the Bratz documentary.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yes.
So far?
So far, I'm intrigued.
Okay.
I don't want to ruin it for you, but
Okay.
I
How
will
long
say
is it? It's like a.
it's a pretty long.
Is it one documentary? Or is it like
it's a
part?
movie, yeah. So it's
Okay.
like I want to say it's like a good 2 hours.
Okay, so it's not like a episodic thing. It's one
No,
movie.
there's a couple of things though that made me sit up and go, whoa.
Okay.
First and foremost, Emilio Estevez looks remarkably like his father now.
Does he?
Oh my God, yes. He looks so much like Martin Sheen. It is insane.
Because I was kind of now, granted, I was just seeing him in little snippets.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of thinking he didn't look that different.
He looks more, and maybe it's just because of the he's a bit stockier and the hair change color.
Yeah.
He looks more like Martin Sheen than Charlie Sheen looks like Martin Sheen.
Okay, but I get that. But did you? Now that you say that, because to be honest, of the two, he favors the dad way more than Charlie does.
Right. But it was a definite shocker when I saw him in the interview. Andrew McCarthy did a great job. The one takeaway from that I've gotten from this so far, is the Brat Pack hated the name Brat Pack.
Yeah, I kind of in the trailer, they kind of alluded to that when they were doing that.
They couldn't stand that. It was actually Emilio Estevez is the genesis of the name Brat Pack. It happened during an interview.
Okay.
He mentioned the name, a pack of brats or something like that, and it just stuck. And
it's all Emilio's fault.
To everybody on the outside, it's this, you're part of an exclusive club. It's like the new Rat Pack. But to them, it was everybody calling them a bunch of spoiled brats.
Right.
So they didn't appreciate it, and none of them really hung out the way that everybody perceived.
Yeah, we always kind of seemed like they always were in a room together all the time. It was Molly. And,
like they get to the interview with Lee Thompson.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh, I just always wanted to be a part of the Brat Pack because I always wanted to hang out with you guys." And he goes, "We never hung out." I mean, we just.
But then again. Did they hang out?
I mean,
Andrew didn't hang out?
That's the thing is I'm sure that they were hooking up and some were hanging out, but it wasn't like a. And they also mentioned how wide of a net it was cast.
Yeah.
That it's really specifically focused on the cast of St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah. That's kind of the hard.
That's really like where the
of it.
Brat Pack began. But then Pretty in Pink and Breakfast Club and all those other ones kind of brought other members into
John
the
Hughes
fold.
turned it all into a John Hughes thing. You're in a John Hughes film. You're kind of a Brat Pack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But so far it's
Which,
very
weirdly
interesting.
enough, Matthew Broderick was never considered a Rat Packer.
No, and I think a lot of that.
Brat Packer.
Well, and for a second I was like, wait, Andrew McCarthy. I thought for a second he was the friend from Ferris's friend from Ferris Bueller, but it wasn't. It's not.
No.
None of the characters really from that movie ever actually made their way into the fold of Brat Packdom.
No, not really. No.
Big Sister a little bit, I guess. Jennifer Grey. A little bit.
Sort of, but I don't even think she really qualifies.
Because then I started thinking about, like the other ones from the Fringe. Like, what about the Coreys?
Yeah.
The Coreys were also
I think
lot
they were
younger.
too young.
Yeah,
they were like teenagers, and these kids were Demi and them were in their 20s.
One of the funnier things when you hear Corey Feldman go off now about,
stuff that happened when he was a kid, is the way he talks about, ask the people that ran the soda clubs. He always talks about how him and his co-stars would always all go hang out at this soda club. It was a nightclub, but they served soda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was a kid nightclub.
Teen club.
Yeah, I always picture Corey Feldman rocking up the bar, be like, give me 3 fingers of root beer. Slides up to him in a cup.
I vaguely remember in my early 20s, in our town of Waldorf, Maryland. I'm going to say I was like 20. And a nightclub there flipped to a teen nightclub.
Oh, really? Okay.
It lasted about 3 months.
Here's the thing.
It died.
If you go to a club that exclusively only serves non-alcoholic beverages, you're at one of 2 clubs.
Yeah.
You're at a teen club or you're at a strip club.
See, back in the day, we called those arcades.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's kind
Fair enough. But
the
yeah,
mall.
that was he always talked about hanging out at the soda bar.
Yeah, we called it the mall.
But yeah, no, the documentary so far is it's really interesting. It's also kind of interesting to see who's not picking up the phone, because he kind of casts a net of voicemails at first.
Yeah,
and he gets a few phone calls back, and even Emilio is like, McCarthy was like, well, why are you talking about it now?
Because you called me.
He said, because you called me.
That was
exactly.
in the trailer. Yeah, that was in the trailer, because you called me. and in all fairness, Andrew McCarthy, yes, he's a brat packer, but he's not like one seat.
No, yeah, he was. Well, because he was in St. Elmo's Fire, so he's sort of at that ground floor, but he wasn't the popular one for sure.
Yeah.
He wasn't a Judd Nelson or a Molly Ringwald.
Yeah, no. I would say Emilio, Brad, Allie, the Breakfast Club cast is probably your strongest.
They really, and this is something they kind of allude to in the documentary. They had to do work really, really hard to make Allie Sheedy look weird, because she was like borderline the hottest woman in Hollywood, the most attractive female in Hollywood at that point.
Yeah, she was very pretty.
They worked real hard to get her pulled off as the weird one.
Did they talk with what's his name? Oh shoot.
So far,
the nerd from Breakfast Club. I can't remember his name. Not C. Thomas Howell. It's something like that.
So far they've talked to first was Emilio, John Cryer was the second one they kind of brought up, and then some casting directors and some other people behind the scenes, and then the Lee Thompson
out of my head
portion.
Johnny Be Good. I keep calling him C. Thomas Howell, but that's the other guy.
Talking about the Breakfast Club? Or
he's in the Breakfast Club, but he's in Weird Science. He's in all those 80s movies. 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink. I think he's in both of those. I know he's in 16 Candles. What's his name?
Anthony Michael Hall?
Anthony Michael Hall.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay.
I could not remember his name.
I haven't seen him yet.
Because he's kind of Brat Pack adjacent.
Oh, yeah.
He was in all the movies, but he kind of, because I think he's a smidge younger.
No, he was definitely one of those. I mean, because they talk about
him and John Carr are the same. They're fringe Brat Pack to me.
They talk about in the documentary how St. Elmo's Fire is like the 1 seed, and then Pretty in Pink, and then Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So it's kind of those 3 movies kind of encompass all of the Brat Packers. And yeah, Anthony Michael Hall would fall into that category for sure.
Sure, but he was a little more outside of that because he had other movies that weren't really in the vein of like Johnny Be Good,
right?
For instance.
And I'll be honest, I turned it back on after I got finished watching wrestling, but I fell asleep because my brain was tired. So I'm going to get back at it tonight and try to finish it.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out. Maybe this weekend I'll try to get it. That's on the list.
It is.
I got that. I
worth
got
a watch.
I got Chimp Crazy or whatever it's called. I got
yeah,
that.
you nailed it. Chimp Crazy.
Of course, I've got a Hard Knocks to catch up on now because there's new Hard Knocks, and then I got a bivvy of stuff waiting for me to watch here. My cup.
I was going to say your plate's getting full.
All right, let me get the hour going here. Got eye booger. Sorry about that.
Fun.
Eye booger making me see good. Let me get the hour going here. We're going to get you up to date with the weather here in just a few minutes. Then shortly thereafter, we're going to be joined by Caroline Brooks with the Roswell Museum and Art Center and Amy McFay-Tejas with the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, talking about Museum Day, which is just a couple of weeks away here, right around the corner. So we'll talk about that with those two here in just a bit. That's actually September 14th. So what's it, about 2 weeks away, I think? Something like that. So we'll talk about that. The second, I guess you could say second annual, because they did this last year. It was a huge success. And so we're doing Museum Day again this year, too. So we'll We'll be joined by Caroline and Amy here in just a few. Later on in the show, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, Wall Street business update, whatever else we can come up with this hour of the show. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at that weather. All kinds of moisture to talk about.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Some of that tropical air making its way into our area. Showers and thunderstorms will be popping up this afternoon. Partly sunny, and we're in the low 90s on the high. We do have some showers in the forecast for the overnight hours, dipping down to the upper 60s. Rain and thunderstorms look pretty likely most of the day on Friday. Partly cloudy, and we're in the upper 80s. A few showers for the holiday weekend. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 78 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 62%. Winds currently out of the south at 8 miles per hour. We are looking at a 30% chance for some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Otherwise sunny, and 93 today with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Chance of rain bumps up to 40% tonight, mainly before midnight or before 3 a.m. I apologize. Mostly cloudy. Expect an overnight low of 68 degrees. South winds 5 miles per hour. Friday, we are looking at a 70% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, and a high of 86. Winds out of the northeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. 60% chance at showers and thunderstorms tomorrow night. Expect an overnight low of 66 under mostly cloudy skies. Winds will be out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. Looking at the weekend, 40% chance at showers and thunderstorms Saturday. Otherwise, partly cloudy and 85. North winds 5 to 10. 30% chance at showers on Saturday evening. Overnight low of 67. 30% chance at showers Sunday. Mostly cloudy. 85. I love these temps, by the way. 85. I'll take that all day. Sunday night, 40% chance at showers. Mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 66. For Labor Day, we're looking at a 30% chance at showers. Mostly cloudy. 83 for a high. And then next week, farther in next week, Tuesday, 86 with a 20% chance of rain, 89 on Wednesday. So maybe warming back up a little bit as the week progresses. But at least for the after today, next several days, we'll be in the 80s with rain chances. So enjoy it. Hopefully it doesn't mess up football. Knock on wood. All right, it is 9:18. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we'll talk Museum Day on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey Roswell, this is your last chance to get clearance pricing through Labor Day during the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at the all-new Roswell Ford. Right now, get our best deals of the year on all-new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles. Stuck in your loan or lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR and $3,400 in bonus cash on 2024 F-150 trucks and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months is $27.78 per thousand. Subject to lender approval through Ford Credit. Offers not combined. Sale ends 9/2/2024.
So your trees are turning yellow. You scratch your head and think to yourself, what would Jim Gill do?
This is Shirley from Roswell Seed. If Jim were here, he'd tell you all about something he called monkey blood. It's a powder that turns a deep red when you mix it with water. You pour it on the ground under your tree's drip line, and in a few weeks, they'll be healthy and green once again.
So when things aren't green, just ask yourself, what would Jim Gill do? Then head down to Roswell Seed Company and find out.
Eastern New Mexico University is proud to announce our newest offering, a Master of Social Work degree. This 100% online, affordable master's degree has 3 concentrations: clinical, clinical military, and children, youth, and families. This online master's degree is perfect for the working professional, as you can earn your degree on your own time with our flexible online courses. For more information, visit www.enmu.edu/MSW. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
You are 13.8% more likely to die on your birthday. Think about that the next time you want to celebrate your birthday month. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Museum and Art Center, Caroline Brooks with us, and back from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, Amy McVeigh is back with us as well. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How's life at the museums today?
Just going well.
Fine,
Going. Yeah.
Hunky-dory?
That's right.
Hunky-dory. Well, I got a feeling, if we're getting rain this weekend, it's a good time to go indoors and see museums.
Mm-hmm.
I know we got an event coming up in a couple of weeks, but you don't have to wait till September to go to these museums. You can come out this weekend and check them out.
Exactly.
So,
That's exactly right.
but yes, what we're here to talk about is last year we had, I guess we'll call it first annual. I don't know if it's officially that annual, but we had our first annual museum day. And the major museums of Roswell, the Roswell Museum and Art Center, Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, the UFO Museum, the Anderson Bethany Museum, the Miniatures Museum. Anderson Museum, sorry.
Yeah.
I was looking at Anderson Museum, the Miniatures Museum,
Yes.
The Walker Aviation Museum,
Yes.
the museum at NMMI, which McBride Museum. Did I get them all?
You got them all.
Okay,
Did you
excellent.
mention? Yes.
Yes.
Good job. Good job, Mike.
And
Checked them
all
all.
are back on board for this year's
Absolutely.
second annual museum day, which will take place on Saturday, September 14th. And it's an all-day event. And what we're encouraging folks to do is come out and see your museums. Come see what you got in your own backyard. Now, we're incentivizing it a little bit for you. If you go and make the rounds and get your passports filled out, you can get prizes at each of the registered to win prizes at each museum. But that's an off thing. That's just a prize for doing something you're going to really enjoy. I think that what you're really going to find out is we got a bunch of cool stuff and a bunch of cool museums in town is what you're going to find out. And whether you're hanging out at the Historical Society or going through the Roswell Museum and Art Center, or hanging out at the Anderson, or maybe one of those times when you're getting on a plane, you're like, maybe I should actually walk into the Walker Aviation Museum. Go make Saturday that day. And I guarantee you're going to be surprised at how much cool things we have in your own backyard. And that's kind of what you guys have been telling people for years, but now we're trying to kind of get it in a broader thing here.
Agreed.
So I guess we'll start with you, Caroline. Do you guys have any special things planned, exclusive that Saturday out at the Roswell Museum and Art Center?
I know it's hard to keep track of all seven.
I know.
of them.
I'm
There's
trying
so many. Yeah. So we're gonna have take and make art. Now, normally we have make and take. So you make it there and then you take it with you. In this case, we're gonna have it ready to go.
Okay. And
so
then
you
go
can
home
take
and
it
make
with you and make it. Yeah. So we're gonna
it's
have
like a kit.
Yes, exactly. And that way we don't hold up people because we know they have to get to all seven locations.
And parents love kits.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? When you can get your kid an entertainment and all in one package, that's a parent win right there. So moms, dads, that alone be enough to get you in the door.
Yeah. And the kids are making their own little miniature gallery.
Oh, cool.
So they'll have little pieces they can place in the gallery, and it's a little structure they can build
design,
and everything.
layout.
Yes. Which in the old days, which I'm getting up there, so we used to do that ourselves. So anytime we laid out an exhibition, we actually had miniature kind of architectural 3D models of the galleries, and we would make miniature artworks and we would place them. And you could lean down and look through the door and see how it lined up and what the experience
kind of
was.
like in the movies when you see architects design a building and they got that little model that they're all
so
execs
much,
are playing with.
all of us, whether it's architect or museum people, we're all doing it on the computer. But back then,
back then it was models and styrofoam and you're cutting cardboard out and everything else.
That was us. Yep.
I wish we'd go back to that. I mean, I love art and craft time. It's hard to be mad when you're gluing things together and cutting and coloring. It's just hard to be mad.
And then we also have planetarium shows that day. They're all free that day.
Excellent.
Yeah,
that's a please check out that. We forget that planetarium's there and it's right in your own backyard, and they do things more than just show shows that sync to Led Zeppelin or whoever. They do other stuff.
Which is cool too.
It is very cool, but they do more than that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in fact, Jeremy and I were talking the other day, and we've focused a lot on space, and that's what always is going to be our primary focus. However, there are other cool shows out there. So, like this year, we're going to have a dinosaur show.
Oh, cool!
About the history or the creation of flights. So, beginning with pterodactyls and all of that.
That'll be cool
Yeah.
to see on the
That's
planetarium.
fun. Yes.
Because it's such a unique viewing experience. So whatever you do in there is going to be cool. And so please come check it out. Come see it. And if Saturday the 14th your first time, then so be it. But please put this on there and definitely. And by the way, the copious amounts of art and it's constantly changing and evolving. So so you come in from month to month. You're going to see different exhibits each and every time you come in.
We have a show opening tomorrow, which is going to be highlighted during Museum Day. So it's Esther Alaya, and it's the title of the show is Kosh Minlaka.
Okay.
Which is of Assyrian language.
Okay.
And which is a country that no longer exists. There was there's a diaspora, the people who left Assyria in the early 1900s. There was a genocide, etc. But anyway, the people live all over the world. So one of the descendants is Esther Elia.
Okay.
And she has a show opening tomorrow, and she's a recent MFA graduate out of UNM.
Oh, wow.
And so our curator, Erin.
So she lives in New Mexico.
She lives in New Mexico. She's out of Albuquerque.
Cool.
She's recently had a baby. But tomorrow she'll be there, and her show's going to open, and she's going to give a short gallery talk.
So that's a little local and a little national, international all in one
so
thing.
she'll be present tomorrow for our opening, but then in 2 weeks when we do the museum day, Erin, on her behalf, will be talking in the gallery about the work on display. So
Excellent.
that'll be cool.
Yeah. And that's the great thing is that you come and see, and what I love about art is because you can get 20 people in a room looking at it and get 20 different answers of what they feel about it. And that's what I love about art. And you've got a whole couple buildings, full of that stuff.
Yeah.
And that people don't walk in and check it out.
And this particular show is different. Like sometimes people have expectations. They're like, oh, it's just going to be a landscape painting on the wall. That's what the museum is covered with. No, we do have that, which is gorgeous.
Yeah, the traditional
but we have many,
thing.
Yes, but we have many other things. And Esther's work is large tiled sculptures and these huge kind of mural-sized paintings and her own
art just doesn't
aesthetic.
hang on a
It's
wall.
gorgeous.
Yeah. You know, it's art is. And yeah, I mean, sure, you can get into culinary arts and all that stuff, but I mean, yeah, art is art. I mean, it's yes, we think of paintings, and sure, that is the traditional art, and because that's a very popular medium to express one's feelings. Really, that's what art is at the end of the day, is people expressing their feelings in some way, shape, or form. And so yes, by sculpture, and with technology, that's constantly evolving. I imagine, who knows, 20 years from now, you might walk into that museum and see some digital kind of things that are done solely computer based and all that, because that's the medium that society's using now. You know, I think the museum evolves with the time. You know, it's what, what is there. And so, yes, you go ancient, it could be stuff hundreds of years old, but then at the same time, the cutting edge in art is also hanging on the walls or sitting in the middle of a room somewhere. And that's art. And it's more than you think sometimes. And sometimes we got to remind ourselves that we pigeonhole things in a certain way, and that gives you an idea how to navigate life in some aspects, but you miss so many things sometimes by saying, that the cover book you painted there is a little bit different than what's actually inside that book there. And so that's what September 14th is all about. It's for you to come and see that. And guess what? You've got 7 different museums to try and learn and experience new things. I know, like Amy, you guys go all out. When we do Historical Society that day, we get people that come in and we get the great tours of the J.P. White House, and we're going to be doing that. We're going to have special things. I know Amy blesses every person that walks through the door when we go there, and that's what's going to be happening on the 14th at the Historical Society. I know that too.
Well, we're really excited to have John and Sharon Drewstam and their check wagon.
Yeah,
he's past board member, and I'm so glad they were available. I think he diverted some travels just for this
to make
event.
This special. So what's he going to be doing? Explain to people what he does with the chuck wagon.
So, for those who are unaware, I was introduced many years ago. I got a call early in the morning and said they had a new friend they wanted to introduce me to. So we got up early, and it's Miss Indiana. So they brought Miss Indiana into their life. She's been there around for quite some years. And I think our intention is to just remind everybody how much we should value history, the component of history, and us being a vessel of celebrating the past and embracing our youth into impact in the future. So they'll be doing presentations. They'll have a great literal display of what the functionality of a check wagon was. And we will not be cooking, but we'll have blessings, and we'll have water and treats. I know John LeMay will be there signing his new book. We've got autographed books by Dewey Johnson
I got a
and
funny
some of
feeling,
his fun projects.
like the health department shuns upon chuck wagon standards of back in the day.
Well,
nowadays.
exactly. so hey, let's put it this way: your apples and water, bottled water.
There you go.
There you go. We'll be featuring our
I know
video.
about the horseshoe and the coffee bit. So.
That's true. Oh yeah, something. Yeah, we're gonna keep it safe. We need everybody to be able to go to all 7 museums.
That's right.
So we'll be featuring our video on the history of Roswell. But again, she's correct. Our intention is to have we'll do face painting too outside.
Excellent.
But some fun things, short and sweet. We value all 7 museums.
Absolutely.
And Mike, I think my favorite time when we meet, and I'm so excited, is all of us going to the locations, and I think we're more impressed upon about what everybody else is doing and how much we value what they're doing.
Like the museum, like the Roswell Museum, people are like, I want to go to the Walker.
At the miniature, we're blown away and walking. But I think that we need to, as our museums, we need to value giving ourselves some time to enjoy what everybody else has to offer. We're so busy.
Yeah, you kind of, again, those blinders thing I was talking about.
Those moments.
Absolutely.
So thank you.
And the one thing I do also want to stress is when you come out to the historical society and you tour the J.P. White home, you're kind of getting a glimpse of what turn of the century, like, and to see and to be honest, you're seeing what the better half. Let's just face it. If you lived in the turn of the century, and were affluent, this is what your lifestyle was like in the turn of the century, and that home does an amazing job of showing that and showing what was considered luxury back in the day, what was and just even the way that building is built, the outlay of it. It is designed because it's a house built before air conditioning, a house built before electricity, a house built before these conveniences. So the house is set up to make life more comfortable without those things. And so you notice it. That's why the entranceways are a certain way and the staircase, why the porch is so big, because people have to live outdoors more because it's got hot in there. But that's what you learn about that. And then you're like, see this fancy, this had indoor plumbing. Look, oh my gosh, and you look at it and you're like, well, that's indoor. But that was state-of-the-art fancy back when that came out, and that's, so to put that perspective for people. And back to art, go to the not the Anderson Bethany Museum, the Anderson Museum.
Correct.
That right the second time. Yes. But the Anderson Museum is like if you think what art is, go walk in that museum and it'll tell you you're wrong. that's what that museum, because it's got so much art, it's so eclectic, and things that you would have never thought are art in that building. And
golf bags.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Things that you're like, that guy literally took a pile of junk in the backyard, made art, and you're like, what happened? And you're like, and it's beautiful, and it really makes you question what you think art is.
Right.
And don't forget, they got an amazing piano over there and do concerts and all kinds of stuff from time to time. And then of course the miniatures is the same thing, and that's to me that's part oddity, part impressive. Like, because yes, the oddity, like it does a connotation of that Ripley's Believe It or Not, because everything's tiny in there. That's the whole point of it. But then you look at it and it's like, no, these are thimbles with artwork that is so ornate that your mind's blown that someone could even comprehend how to make that, and it's kind of, so it's got that Ripley's awe to it where you're like, how did they get an entire portrait on a match head or something like that?
And then they're always changing it up, so it's like that's curiosities and the miniatures. So right now they have a nature show and then GlowBots.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which is really impressive. So it was a project that happened before the UFO Festival was on display then, but it's a glow in the dark room with all this art made from junk of these robots that glow in the dark. So it's
like
beautiful.
in my head, I almost got this like 60s spacey vibe.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
sure.
Star Trek,
right?
Like what people thought future looked like in the 60s.
That's amazing.
That's my image when I think of that.
And speaking of pianos, they have the player piano there.
Yeah, and that's
and if you've never seen it go, it's impressive.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
they can speed it up, slow it down.
They were. I think. Correct me wrong. They were kind of popular in the West saloons when no one had a piano player. They wanted entertainment
because they shot them, right?
Yeah,
that's right. My granddaughter says you can't leave the miniature museum without smiling. She's right.
Absolutely.
You just can't. Well, all the museums, but you just can't.
Absolutely. And then of course the Walker Aviation Museum that pays homage to Walker Air Force Base, Roswell Army Airfield, which for folks that don't know served a huge role during World War II. Yep. Odds are pretty good that if you were on a B-17 crew during World War II, you probably spent time training in Roswell, New Mexico. That's how important that role. But so that museum focuses on that base and on the Cold War era, where where we were in the dawn of the Cold War and the ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, your nuclear warheads and things, Roswell, New Mexico, this area, was home to the first generation of those.
Mhm.
As they got more advanced and safer, they moved them to other places. But those first generation, the dangerous ones, the ones with the liquid fuel and the incidents, were all here in this part of the country, or were in this part of the country. So that museum celebrates that. But the cool part about it is, yeah, you think about all that stuff, but that museum celebrates the people almost more so.
That's true.
Because it's so much relics from like here's the 1950 baseball team jackets and things. So it really celebrates life at the base.
Mhm,
And the cool part is, and maybe you'll get lucky when you come out in September here, if you go out there, especially during the summer, like they'll get families that they're on vacation, come from other parts of the world, and they come here to see Walker Air Force Base or Roswell Army Airfield because their parents served here, or they were here as kids while their parents served,
Right.
or their granddad was here and they came and visited, and so and you hear all these stories. They come in and they tell, and they bring some of this stuff. Like, here's my dad's book from this, or his jacket from the bowling team, or whatever, and it becomes part of the and that's almost cooler than actually walking around the museum, is when you catch those moments where somebody walks in and they're just telling their life experiences about that base, and so that place is full. And by the way, they are big in STEM with your kids too. They do a lot of science stuff. Like if you want to learn about all kinds of STEM career fields in the airline industry, they even have a simulator, so you can actually get flying time towards getting a pilot's license through the Walker Aviation Museum. Learn more about that on September 14th too. So
Exactly.
again, more things to encourage you to look up and talk about when you're doing that. And I can't leave McBride out, because I finally got to see that museum last summer. I finally got to go, and that museum is, of course, it's right in kind of the heart of the campus there and everything else, but there is some very cool stuff in there. Like if you want to see a Medal of Honor up close, you don't get to see those very often. They got one on display there in the museum. Of course, if you're a Roger Staubach fan, they got all kinds of Staubach stuff in there. But if you kind of want to see life of what a cadet was like through the various eras at NIMI and MMI, sorry, I try not to do that. Please go to that museum. I mean, they got full setups of like what a dorm room looked like back in, when it first started. And to be honest, if you can, ask to let you walk more of the campus too, because there's so much other historical stuff. I mean, every dang building over there is historical.
Yeah. And that day, they're going to be having one of their old original printing presses that they used to do like their Institute newspaper with, I believe. Nice. But they have that there, and they have some old, I don't know if they're metal or wood, but they have some blocks so people can choose images, and then they'll help them print them.
So they can fire this thing up and print something off.
Well, it's hand done.
All
but
sure.
yes,
Yes, they fire up by this.
They will safely do it.
Physical, do that. Yes.
But that is so cool. So again, September 14th, that is Museum Day. Please, you don't have to wait till then to check this stuff out. They're come each weekend, come during the week, visit their websites. Each museum has their own website. You can see the hours and times and things. I highly recommend you check these out. But if September 14th is the first time, then please make a point of visiting all 7. Get the free tours. Register at each of the get your passports kind of filled out so you can get in on the drawings for the prizes and everything else here too.
So just to mention, the passport's available at 6 of the museums.
Okay.
So the only one it's not available at is the UFO Museum.
Okay.
And that's because they just want people to have free admission that day that carry the passport.
Okay.
But the general tourists coming in from Michigan, like they might not.
They don't want to cut into their normal day job.
Yeah.
Day museum
Yeah,
stuff.
they need
and they do charge
recently.
normally at that
They
event.
do. So anyone who has the passport
Which you
gets in
need to
for
pick
free.
up.
So either you have it mailed to you from a mailing list, or you pick it up at one of the 6 other venues.
I was going to say any of the ones that you can get a copy of
Yes.
and get it picked up there. Now you need a physical passport, right?
Yes.
You can't do
Yes.
have a digital version of
Correct.
it.
No.
You need an actual cardboard piece of kids.
Yes.
Old school paper. Need
Yes,
it.
and we've got plenty. Stop by one of the other 6 venues and they'll get it.
And that way you get your passport and then carry it with you to the other locations. And you can get it stamped at the UFO Museum.
Yes.
Please get it stamped and you'll get it for free.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. Now, I highly recommend you support them by maybe buying some things at the gift store, there while you're there. But please, and I always say, please come free and stuff. But if you have a chance to support financially and are able to do so, please do, because I can tell you every single one of these museums could use your help, including the UFO Museum, who, let's face it, they do a lot more traffic than the rest of the museums. But put it this way, they if you don't support it, these go away.
Right.
And so if you can support financially, great. If you want to donate, I'm sure every museum you'll find a donate box somewhere. Please visit that. Or if they're offering sales of books or various other things, please support that.
And there's additional incentives. We're working really hard, so all of museums will have fun baskets to feature, and then the grand prize. See, the whole objective of this card here is to get them all stamped and put your name to be in the large drawing, which was amazing last year.
Valued at $700.
$700.
Yeah. So what do we know what this year's gifts will be?
Yes, so it's a mix. Some of it is like a gift card or cash.
So it's like
that's
like
always
Visa
nice.
cards.
Yeah, it's a big cornucopia. It's like getting a Christmas.
It is.
It's like a Christmas
and
situation.
some are gift certificates, some are museum merchandise, but all together, every museum contributed, and so it's all
So
together.
put it this way, you probably don't have to pay for a meal or things, probably for a good while. If you
a long time. Yeah.
Well, and a fun thing I love that we do, even our own baskets from every museum, there's part of all 7 museums in our own baskets,
That's
too.
just it, too,
So
because
it's
we're
so much
showcasing
fun.
each museum. So
That's what
obviously,
it's all about.
Walker Aviation might have a little more theme there. The museum and art center will be a little themed more to what they do, and so forth and so on.
And
So,
another shout out though, so you get all 7 stamps. And then when you get those, you can get a museum nerd button.
Oh, cool!
So it's a button.
It's
that
swag.
It's swag that has museum nerd on it because you were so awesome to go to all 7 museums.
Yeah,
And
so
it's
that's
special, so they've designed it special for this year. Every year it will be a little bit
kind of like
unique.
UFO festival
You can
swag.
collect those
Exactly.
those buttons.
But you're not a true collector unless you got all the years and all that good stuff. Absolutely. So if you love that kind of stuff, please, we got all kinds of those opportunities for you. But the real prize will be the fact that you just found 7 great, amazing, cultural, historical, awesome things here in your town, and that's what the end of the day. We hope you participate. We want you to get your passport, have fun. Please get in there, and I hope you win. This is cool. Please do that. Please have fun. Get your kids involved, because this is how we get the kids involved in the museums. Yes, come and please visit the museums and let them do all the make and take and all the fun things at these events, and get them inspired into making these places as something they want to keep going to when they are older and enjoy. That's sure, we want everyone to come, but we really do want those kids to come and see these great treasures and learn. That's the other thing. Learn a little bit about your own backyard here.
Right.
That's, all these museums, every one of them, they go international, but they also, every one of them have a local focus and talking about your own backyard. Right here too.
That's right.
That's the beauty of it.
Well, if you're unable to attend, Caroline and I were just speaking before, we do want to remind individuals, if you're not available on this day, every day is Museum Day. And we want us to utilize the language of there are 7 treasures of Roswell. If you have guests in Roswell, let's remind them it's not about one, it's about all of us.
Absolutely.
And take the time to enjoy
Absolutely.
what we have.
And this is how we make our community great. This is the thing, by supporting and doing these things. I always say it, if you're waiting for your local government to create things for you to make your community better, you're going to be waiting a while. That's just it. Now, don't get me wrong. The city does support the museum and does all that stuff, but let's face it. It takes the people to tell the city what to do in that thing. You know what I mean? It's Caroline running that thing and doing this and saying this is what the community wants and how do we support it. And sure, the city supports it, but by all means, is it enough to keep the doors open? I imagine without the private donors, without the private members and things like that, we do not have a Roswell Museum and Art Center.
Yeah.
It goes away despite the city's support. So please, you need to support these things. Same with the zoo. That's not part of this per se, but it's very much part of our community and part of this as well too. So please support these things. Support city and private. All of them need to go. Aquatic Center, Recreation Center, the Adult Center, all these things.
Bitter
these
Lakes, Bottomless Lakes.
They're all part of your community. They all make our community better, and they're all, when you're looking for resources, when life is handing you, these are the places that turn to it. How many times do you look at just these other facilities and seeing? I guarantee. Just look at the Rio stuff. I know Historical Society did. I'm sure every other museum, in some way, shape, or form, was doing something for the fires.
That's right.
And it's great. By the way, speaking of that, I'm going to throw it out. It has nothing to do, but I know you're a football person, so I saw Tularosa, I think, is playing Ruidoso this weekend in Tule. And they put a thing out on Facebook that if you come in your Ruidoso Warrior gear, they're going to let them into the game for free on Friday night or whenever they play here. So
Amazing.
I thought that was cool.
That is
cool.
I know it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but just remind me.
Well, just beautiful. At the end of the day, we're all family. We're all coming together.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think that is, whether
So-
sports, art, history.
Now, outside of that, I do want to give you a chance since you're both here. You know, what outside of Museum Day, talk a little bit about what's going on at the Roswell Museum and Art Center. Give us some other plugs. I know you did a few, but
Yeah.
game on, go for it.
Big thing that a lot of people know. So we've been under renovation
Yeah.
for about a year now, which some really great changes happening.
It is all for the good.
It is all for the good.
Mm-hmm.
The main entrance is closed, and that's also a plug for Museum Day too. The front entrance is closed, but everyone can come in through the planetarium.
Think of it as you're getting the employee entrance, like the secret
Right.
door, like
Right.
a secret entrance. You get the secret entrance.
Yeah. So they can park in the main lot. They can park on 11th Street, and then just come in through the 11th Street entrance.
Well, there's plenty of parking over there between the convention center.
So
and all
far,
that.
the flooring is phenomenal. We have terrazzo flooring. We have some hardwood floors. It was replacing the beat-up carpet, the business carpeting we used to have in the galleries. And then we've been working on the front entrance, so moving the museum store from the back to the front, updating the lobby a bit. So that's still in progress, that part. And I don't know, fingers crossed. I'm thinking like November, December, January, something like that. But we'll announce a grand opening for those spaces.
And then we'll
when
have to
they're
come
done.
back and see it in
Yes,
its
absolutely.
new shiniest form.
Yes.
Instead of
And-
its under construction form.
And then another plug is October 12th is our Roswell Science and Art Festival.
Oh, excellent.
So we hold it next door at the convention center, but it's put on by our museum, and then we invite universities, the public schools, different nonprofits, federal agencies, state agencies to all come and participate. And so they present different topics exploring art and science, and it's really hands-on, family-focused day, free, lots of fun, and that'll be from 10 to 4 on October 12th, which I know you have an October 12th
We
event
do.
too.
And that's where I love.
Yes.
I love when that happens,
Yes.
and people think, "Oh no, oh yes."
Well, so you can do it all
make a
together,
day
right? You
of
make a
it.
day of it. Make
I
a
love
absolutely,
it.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And rest assured, we'll have information about theirs, and we will, because
Absolutely.
it's just time to celebrate.
Well, and they kind of go, I mean, hand in hand in some way, because,
Yes.
you know, obviously with the historical side, we're going to be having our historical book fair auction
Mm-hmm.
that day. And so, yeah, it's kind of, but you can kind of, and by the way, not all the books are for collector purposes, you know, because
That's true.
sometimes old books are just old books. They're not necessarily valuable old books. And so we get a lot of old books. And people like to decorate with them. People
We've
like to
done
use
great art
and
with
so,
books.
or create art.
That's
so,
true.
So
We've done some
technically, we
great
get you a
things
little
with
art over at the historical
books.
society.
That
too.
is true.
But yeah, that day also. So please come, and it looks like art will go a little high tech over at the convention center. So we get a little techie.
Yeah.
And then come and of course we'll have of course our local authors will be there signing books.
Mm-hmm.
And for the historical book fair, what happens is we get donations. How the archives are filled with. We have an archives because people have given us their treasures over the years for keepsakes and things. And we get a lot of books. And sometimes we get a lot of the same books. And they're rare books, don't get me wrong, but because you can't get them on a bookshelf anywhere. But, we sometimes have 3, 4, 5, 6 copies of the book. We keep the best one. Sorry, folks. The shiniest one, the one that's in the best shape, that's one we keep in the archives. But if we have extras, we about once a year, maybe twice a year, depending on need, we do this book auction.
Yeah.
And so you can come and buy our extras, our doubles, or everything else. And that money goes back to Historical Society. So people that donate on the guise of the Historical Society, we keep it in spirit because they understand. We have your book. Thank you very much. But thank you for the donation. We're going to take the money that it's worth and preserve history with it and celebrate history and do everything that's under the mission statement of the history.
That's right.
So
Yep.
That's kind of what it is.
Yeah. Friendly reminder tonight. We'll have our ribbon cutting for
That's
our
right.
beautiful new signs.
All are welcome.
Huge shout out to the Roswell Travis County Economic Development Facade Grant making that possible.
What time are you guys doing
ribbon cutting at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Thank you to the Redcoats. They'll be out there. The ETC will be out there, and
Unfortunately, I got a ball game to get ready for.
that.
So I'm
Well,
gonna miss
but
it.
you know what? I think a lot of people resemble that remark. So we'll have the that anthem sang by Cisco. Shout out to Cisco, and we'll celebrate that and get ready for the ball game.
Couple of come by later and check out our new sign.
A couple of other things as we're talking about impact, and we just want to be a vessel to the community. I'm sitting right next to amazing art representation. I just want to remind individuals we offer art scholarships. It is never too late to donate for scholarships. Celebrating the legacy of Troy Hayes, we are giving scholarships out again in December, and that before you know it. School tours are going to be a little early this year with some unique things coming about, and I do really want to encourage people to come out for that book fair. Make it a day. Make it a day of it and celebrate all of the amazing things.
Come learn with I guess you got to say the latest inventions in art kind of thing, like what the cutting edge stuff in art is coming to. Or that meld of science and art, meld of science and art. And, well, I mean, how many times you watch like videos online, a TikTok or whatever, and people are doing various science experiments and I mean, that's how you draw interest.
Oh yeah,
you can make the big pile of goo do one thing by adding the one thing. That's how you get interested in science.
That's exactly right.
Art's the same way. See, when you mix these colors together, you get this. How
That's
cool
true.
is that?
That is true.
And there's one more group I want to do a plug for, which I apologize I forgot. So the Quilt Guild in town, and I think, is it Pecos Valley Quilt Guild, I believe?
Pecos Valley Quilters Guild.
Quilters Guild. Yes, they have their show at the convention center also on our museum day.
Oh, excellent.
Yes. So
and that's another Roswell tradition is their annual Quilters show, Quilters Guild show. Yeah.
And some of their members have gone to different institutions like ours, I think the Mini Museum, and they've been inspired by the artwork on display to make quilts that we'll have in our museum, at the Mini Museum, and possibly some other places. I think the Bone Springs Art Space.
Excellent. The Art Space, excellent.
Yeah, so we'll be displaying some of their quilts. So even on that museum day, we'll have quilts from the Quilters Guild.
Yeah.
I have a sweet little family that's going to do an all-day thing of it because they're going to start the farmers market. And then they're going to do museum day. And then see, those are the types of things, making a day of our local tours.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so please think September 14th is going to be a next big one here.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Please get a plan of attack. Get them all. You know, if I imagine of the 7, there's probably 1 or 2 that are like, well, I want to spend a little more time here because of this or whatever. Because everyone's got interests in things. Like if you're a military head, you're probably going to want to spend more time at the Walker. If you're a painter or artist, you're probably going to want to spend more time at one of the other art museums.
Or make the route and stop at the farmers. You know, all those things. Make your own little route that works for you.
Maybe you're an oddities guy, so you're going to spend more time at the Curiosity of Miniatures Museum. That's everyone. That's the beauty of humans. Everyone loves and things, but you're going to see so much cool stuff. And please participate, have fun with the passports. Who knows? You can win a bevy of cool stuff.
Yes.
We would thank you to every single business and entity that donated for that, because that's another thing. You thank and support small businesses and big business in our community, but you don't realize these museums are nonprofits. Amy can attest to this, certainly. They do not happen without these small businesses each and every time supporting kids in school. Or, I'm going to donate a gift card for this, or I'm going to donate some product for this. These businesses, and especially your small businesses, where that $100 donation means so much more to them than, say, a Walmart or something. And so we're so blessed and so thankful. So when you see these things and support these businesses, because they are making Roswell better, too.
That's true.
Yeah. So. And Pioneer Bank did step up, and they covered the cost of our print materials, which was
great.
so
Big
nice.
Thank you, Pioneer Bank.
Yes.
Again,
they're so supportive.
9 times out of 10, if there's a community event, Pioneer Bank's involved in some way, shape, or form.
It's
so
true.
That's just how it goes, around here.
So we've had some fun challenges. I've heard some schools challenging the whole classroom to take museum day and get some blessings. So I've heard of some classrooms. We're going to encourage groups to do that.
Yeah.
Give a little challenge.
Do like a hashtag museum day, Roswell Museum Day or something.
Really trying to you challenge.
Take your selfies and everything and put them on your social
Shout
medias.
out to You Challenge. They're linking in. That's family weekend.
Yeah.
They're going to bring their families
Us
out,
old heads
getting
don't
involved.
Think like that. So you youngins need to think like
well,
that. We don't
we're
think
doing
hashtagging
that
so much. So you got to do that
they're
for
really going to, and I think that's where our community was so amazing. And they showed, I think we lived by faith last year. We were uncertain. We knew we were doing the right thing, but we didn't know the turnout. We were blown away, and I want to encourage to do more.
Absolutely.
So that we can just really come together on that day.
This is what makes Roswell so unique. I mean, you don't understand. There is no town of 50,000 probably anywhere else in America that has these kinds of things. I mean, we just don't. Because of we're quote unquote on an island, it's a blessing and a curse. It's a curse in the fact, we got to go 3 hours, everything. But it's a blessing is we're kind of self-sustained. We have our own airport. We have 7 museums. We've got so many amenities that a town of this size would not have. And so take advantage of that blessing side of it. Come see the culture that you don't have to travel 3 hours to go to see. Or, everyone talks about New Mexico's a beautiful state. They're absolutely correct. So is your town. Come check it out.
That's right. Which it is fun to travel too, but we can travel within our own.
Yeah. So hopefully my show today got everybody. Between Bitter Lake last hour with the Dragonfly Festival next weekend and then Museum Day right on the heels of that. There's so much cool stuff going on now here.
This is a great time of the year.
Absolutely. It is. It really is. It's not just football in action. There's so much other cool stuff that going on in between the games here. So get involved. If anybody... I got to wrap up here, but if anybody has questions about anything, of course, if they're interested in becoming a member at the Roswell Museum or anything about that, what's the best way to do that kind of stuff?
Well, we do have a shared webpage on the city site.
Okay.
But they can go to the roswellmuseum.org to find out more about Museum Day.
Okay.
Or any of the Facebook, social media pages for any of the institutions will have that. And then becoming a member, absolutely, roswellmuseum.org.
That's a great way to support. Those members are the reason those doors are open. So if you want to support the arts, it's a great way to do that. So excellent. And then conversely, if you want to support the Historical Society, membership is what keeps the doors open as well. And you can be a member individually or a family or a corporate entity or whatever. There's all levels there. What's the best way to do that?
You can call 622-8333 for more information. We're all in this together. If you have a question, I think you can call any of us.
And we'll all,
RoswellNMHistory.org on our website is information about this event, how you a member. And I just want to challenge us again. Every day is Museum Day. Let's embrace this, and then let's just value our local treasures for all days ahead. I think that's with our world. There's healing in this, and I think that's our intention.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you turn on the TV, you're mad at something. I don't care who you are. You're mad at something.
Keep the TV off on September.
It's a great way to stop.
You're busy to watch TV.
Come see,
That's right. I love that.
Come see life happen in an actual thing. Come see history happen. Come see life experience. Come see kids make family memories. That's the other thing. You make family memories that day.
Or set your DVRs. If they can't miss them, set your DVRs.
Put it this way, you'll find out what your sport team did in an hour anyway. So, man, you're probably going to be either really mad or really sad. You just cut right to the end. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that emotional roller coaster. Come enjoy your museums, and then you'll get mad or happy at the end of the day when you look at your scores.
That's right. On behalf of all 7 museums, we do want to give a shout out to Caroline and thank her for heading this up. I really appreciate it. I know we are all so busy, and thank her for what she does to help us.
We're talking about this 10, 15 years, and here's our 20th annual Museum Day. And we're talking about a bigger thing, and who knows? Maybe it's a downtown event, then they shoot off somewhere. Who knows where it evolves?
Guaranteed the 10-year anniversary pin's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
see? These buttons we're talking about now, they're going to be all old and dusty and look like some from the 40s, and they're going to be worth lots of money.
For sure. Nancy will have that vision. Rest assured, if you have all the others and you keep saving them, there's going to be something really special.
There you go. Absolutely. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Mike.
We'll see y'all next time. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, 9:58. Quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Hey Roswell, this is your last chance to get clearance pricing through Labor Day during the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at the all-new Roswell Ford. Right now, get our best deals of the year on all new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles. Stuck in your loan or lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR and $3,400 in bonus cash on 2024 F-150 trucks and make no payments for 90 days. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months is $27.78 per thousand. Subject to lender approval through Ford Credit. Offers not combined. Sale ends 9/2/24.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia, or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla Espanol.
The perfect pair of glasses is a lot closer than you think. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs is now accepting new patients 5 and up. The Eyesight accepts all VSP vision plans for full contact lens and glasses, as well as Medicare, Davis, and more. Designer frames from Maui Gyms, and so much more. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs offers complete eye care, including pre- and post-cataract and LASIK, as well as glaucoma testing. The perfect pair is waiting for you at the Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, or Hobbs. Clearly the best in sight.
Of an official proceeding charges are only valid if the government can prove that a defendant, quote, impaired the availability or integrity of documents or records rather than merely obstructing an official proceeding. On Wednesday, U.S. District Judge Beryl Howell ordered the release of defendant Patrick Stedman, who was convicted of a felony obstruction charge and 4 additional misdemeanor counts last year. Howell cited the Supreme Court decision in her ruling, which granted Stedman's motion for release pending appeal. According to Newsweek, Stedman will not be released until October 27th because he's still serving a mandatory 12-month sentence from his misdemeanor convictions, on which the Supreme Court ruling had no impact. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
Also at townhall.com, a war of words as China